Oh, welcome. We're live and on the air. Welcome to the podcast, episode 2489. I believe that is the correct number.
We're all deep in there, man.
Real deep, real thick.
Welcome to the podcast.
Girthy, almost.
Sweaty. It's real sweaty in here.
Is this sweaty in there, too? You got to powder up, man. Powder up before you enter the podcast.
We are all here tonight.
Yeah.
Some weird convergence of influx, time warping. We've all made it here. Johnny's on his way.
Except for Yoko Chips, right?
He's on his way. He's on his way, but we're all here and we're all available tonight to pod.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm not even available tonight.
Yeah, this can go like two minutes or 3 hours. We're not sure. So
minute by minute into the hour.
We have people watching, and
hello there.
People are upset. People are laughing.
Hello
people
there.
are people are there. People are with us. You're with us. We are live on streaming platforms. So
we're streaming all over the place.
Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I gotta retweet the streams or reshare whatever.
That's what I was doing.
I went to log on and I accidentally closed all of the internet and I had
all of it.
Now none of my windows are open. The ones I had.
That's why my internet wasn't working.
Yeah, I can't find a job either. I got them all. Got the dad jokes.
Liking it, sharing
We're
it.
1 week early though, because the Obi-Wan show starts next week.
It does.
We're going to try and be back next week, so you know what that means? That we probably won't be back on for another month or two.
I'm going camping next week.
Yeah.
I'm going on vacation with the family, so I'm going to miss Obi-Wan until I get back.
Oh, man.
Okay, now, are you going camping with the family, or are you actually using this as an excuse to go squatching?
Ooh, that's good.
Come on.
Yeah, you figured me out. I'm going to do both. I'm bringing my iPad and my sketchbook and my binoculars for squatches. And my big hat. I'm going to wear a big safari hat.
Andrew Clark asks, what's predictions for Obi-Wan?
I know. They're going to bring back Master Cypher Diaz, because Master Cypher Diaz was killed almost 10 years ago.
That's right.
They're going to bring him back. Come on. We have no idea who he is. He talks about him and they never bring him up again. Bring him into this.
I hope they go deep into lore. Just don't do what they showed us. I don't want to Inquisitors versus Obi-Wan only. I want them to go back even deeper.
I feel like there's going to be some big surprise, like how Grogu appeared in that first season of Mandalorian, but they didn't advertise him at all. And then he was a big part of that show. I feel like there's some surprise like that with this show that they haven't revealed, and it's going to be there. Like maybe Ahsoka's going to be teaming up with him for chunks of the show or something.
Yeah, I think they got to be saving something, and it's only a 6-episode thing, the miniseries, and they're in and out. And but I heard Ewan McGregor said recently he wants to do more. He doesn't want to be finished with the series. So
he'll have to play a different character then if he wants to do something else.
Yeah, well, we know he won't die in this one, right? I don't think he dies in this series.
But my confusion is like in episode 4, which is the original Star Wars for me, and should be for everyone. That's the first time Darth Vader and Obi-Wan face each other again. So was there another time? Why is there another time? Why weren't we told about this other time?
But he says,
apparently it's going to happen.
When I last met you, you were a master, whatever. I was a bad guy, whatever he says. So that doesn't mean when he was Anakin, because he apparently, or possibly, Obi-Wan doesn't know Anakin is Vader. He might learn that here, because he never knew that. He just left Anakin to die.
Yeah.
So
some of the photos I've seen of Hayden Christensen, he started to grow his hair out again.
Oh yeah.
So I wonder if there's going to be flashback scenes of him and Obi-Wan, like during the Clone Wars,
Mm-hmm. I want him to go all crazy, go all in, make it as Star Warsy as possible, mess up continuity, do all of that. As long as they have Vader and Obi-Wan fighting, choking people, I want Vader to go nuts with his lightsaber. I want all of that. Even if he knocks his helmet off when we see young Anakin.
You don't want Vader to move all slow with his lightsaber?
No. There's got to be a reason why he moves slow. Maybe Obi-Wan does something to him. But he was toying with Obi-Wan. That's why he's going slow.
We'll get the first 2 episodes on the 29th when it comes out. They were originally going to do it on the 27th, and then Ewan McGregor put out a video of himself standing there going, "We're going to move it back only a couple of days. Only a couple of days to the 29th."
Is that a Sunday?
I think they want to align with
Friday.
Star Wars Celebration, perhaps.
I know the
Memorial
one
Day
question
weekend.
he's asking himself is: are people going to remember the stuff you purchased, or where you went, or no? What's that commercial? That Travelocity
Oh,
commercial?
yeah.
Remember
His-
where you want to go or something.
His Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
In other words, he's saying, hold on to your traveling dreams. You're never going to get there, but it's always good to dream about going.
But you have to say it in the voice.
Yes.
Hello, loves.
Yes.
Yes.
I like to
follow
travel.
me. I like traveling. Nothing fancy, not too fancy. He his show. I watched around this time last year. I watched his traveling show where he rode a motorcycle.
Yeah.
He had 3 separate shows. One where he went around the world like left and right, and then another one where he went south to north, and then north to south.
Is
And
it
then
just
each
'cause
one
he's
is
really
like 10
bad at
episodes.
directions?
I think he was just lost.
Wasn't he riding around with Norman Reedus? What's his name?
That'd be a
Reedus
good
from,
show.
Walking Dead.
That'd be a good program. No, he was with his friend Charlie. He was
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie something, and they rode motorcycles the whole time, and sometimes it was really cold, and sometimes the roads were really bad. It was intense. I mean, I don't know. Have you guys ever ridden a motorcycle?
No.
Yes.
I ridden
No.
on the back of one. I did not
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. I almost fell off. That was scary.
Oh,
I had to
jeez.
hold on to that. They called it that little bar in the back. You hold on with your hands. And I didn't like that, so I held on to whoever it was. I forget who it was. But it was another man. And I said, I'm
John-
doing this. And I hung on real tight. I was a
I
teenager.
got some road rash there. That was
Did
was
you?
fun. Yeah. I didn't like it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's
It's like
painful.
the worst kind of rash. Yeah.
And
There's
the
only
roads
2
were good.
kinds, really.
So I can imagine you and McGregor on those bad roads.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's only diaper rash or road rash. You don't want either one.
Gundarks.
Mhm.
Darks. I hope Jar Jar shows up. That'd be cool to see a Jar Jar scene. I heard Obi-Wan or Ewan McGregor teased it. They asked him, I saw it in interviews with that Vanity Fair. And one of the questions was, who would you like to reunite with? And he said Jar Jar. He wants to do another scene with Jar Jar.
Maybe
I hope so.
he talks to Qui-Gon's ghost. Maybe.
Ooh, Obi-Wan.
There's that article going around recently about Lucasfilm or Disney saying that they made a mistake in recasting new people and old characters, and that they're never going to do that again.
Yeah.
I think they should have done that from the beginning.
Yeah, I think so too. They should have got that other guy to play Han Solo, the guy who looks just like him. But he was doing videos of him too.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Yeah. There's another guy named Jamie Costa. He's really good. He makes little fan movies of Star Wars, and they're good. He made an Obi-Wan movie. He made a Han Solo movie. I think he made a Boba Fett. Oh man, they're good. They actually fit in continuity if you watch them. And the way he acts as Han Solo, he looks like him, and he sounds like him. He acts like him. His body moves like him. It's pretty cool.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yoko Chips.
Yoko Chip.
What the hell?
Hello there.
Johnny's
I don't
in
know what's
jail.
happening there.
Hello there. Is that Bane?
It's a quarantine.
Yes, it is. Hello.
Dr. Lecter.
Yeah, I said Dr. Lecter because I thought it was more hello, Clarice.
Hello. Hello, Yoko Chips.
Hey Johnny, get closer to the camera because we can't. See
Yeah. Am I really bad? Again, I'm having camera issues. I thought I was gonna have laptop issues and be on the iPad, but it's yeah. You can see I'm like fully equipped. I figured I'd get in some of my CPAP time
Ooh,
while we're talking,
Is that
are you tapping the seed?
just to creep you guys out. Because isn't this ridiculous? Hello, ladies. He's single.
Is that another word for
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I should put.
He's
I put
packing
some
the seed.
I put some CBD oil in my mist.
He just
So
pumps it.
not only am
pumps
I
it right
breathing
in.
better, but I am enjoying the ride immensely.
24 hours a day, it just pumps in.
Exactly. It's like
Taps the
Bane.
seeds.
I need my venom.
Mr. Wayne.
I'm going to buy a milkshake.
I
Yeah.
know. So yeah, like my camera's still not working, so I'm on my crappy.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah,
Oh my God, Johnny!
I'm so pasty and everything. It's ridiculous.
I thought
I
you
know.
were wearing a mask, like one of those COVID masks.
He
Yes.
looks like an
'Cause I
elephant.
couldn't see your face.
Hello,
He's
Clarissa.
got a trunk.
Ladies and gentlemen, Snuffleupagus has joined
Yeah.
us.
It's good.
Hello,
It's,
bird.
it's quality time with the CPAP. It's
Hey,
good.
hey,
I thought,
Snuffy! Say hello. Playing left field. Snuffleupagus, everybody.
I thought you only wore it when you sleep.
Well, you do, but it's
You're planning on falling asleep.
Hey,
Johnny can fall
honestly,
asleep at any time now. Yeah.
listen, I was like, I don't want to do that. Come on. But then I saw my doctor, and it's like, yeah, the likelihood of having a heart attack if you don't have, like, if you're not breathing well, is like so much higher. And I'm like, all right. So at least I didn't get the full like Bane mask and get the full mouth like thing. This is just the nose one. This is what Artie Lang wore after he blew it out of the nose cartilage because he did too much cocaine. So he had, I think to breathe. I'm kidding, but I know that's horrible.
His
but have
nose
you ever
got
seen?
squishy.
Yeah, have you seen that nose? It's like
Yeah, it's like flat, right?
Yeah.
He
I
had
bet he
there was
could
glass in there too. He had glass mixed in it.
Oh, really?
He could
Mhm.
totally false face like his nose and be like, "All right, I'm going to do a Telly Savalas. I'm going to do a Carl Malden. Here's a shadow. He could be Lamont Cranston with that
He
big.
can take his impressions to the next level that way.
Exactly.
It's like a bad custom Mego head sculpt,
Somebody screwed up the 3D printer. I don't know what happened. There's like a
on a nose
fold
one
in
more.
there.
Artie, are you going to do a custom Mego of Johnny with his CPAP mask on?
I might,
I'm fully
kinda like it.
articulate, but I can't breathe.
It's like a Watto mask a little bit. Annie,
Watto?
Annie. Yeah, Watto from Star Wars.
Oh yes, you're right.
Yeah.
This is what's
I like it,
Porkins. This is how Porkins sleeps at night in the rebel bases and stuff. Who has my CPAP?
I think your show wear masks to C2E2 just like that. Me too.
Stay on target.
Stay on target.
People
Breathe
ask us-
normally.
That's
It
going
was
to be
like,
a
what? You
popular
didn't
cosplay this year is
Mhm.
Johnny at C2E2.
They're
That
gonna
would
get-
be,
they're gonna-
oh, good lord. That would be so great if some listener or watcher would show up with their CPAP
One
and be like,
glove,
I'm Johnny.
one
I'm
glove
Johnny.
and the
Yeah, one
CPAP
glove. There you go. You get the full outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, ladies, he's single.
Yeah, we
So-
could change the show to CPAP EPAP, It's good.
So here, all right, that's enough. It was enough of a joke, but
I like it.
Oh, man.
I'll talk normal now. Sorry, everybody, for that's watching
good.
and like grossed out by this.
Stay on target. Shh. Stay on target.
Oh, there he
There he
is.
is.
Oh, there
Hey,
he
hello
is.
again, everybody. Look, it's me.
There's the handsome face we all
You might
love.
remember me from such training films as CPAP, your best friend for breathing.
It looked like
Trip
Empire
line.
Strikes Back when they come out of the ship, when they go into that worm and they're
Yeah.
in
Oh, yeah.
that cave and he comes out with that thing there so they can breathe. That's
a
what it
lot
looked
of
like.
moisture down here.
Or when
Let
Luke's
me
in the back
see
of the
with
tank.
my
at the
own
beginning.
eyes. I got to do the lines from Jedi.
Not entirely
Now
stable.
go, my son.
Glad you're here to tell us these things. Mhm.
They totally jobbed that poor guy, taking him out of the special edition of Jedi and putting in Hayden Christopher Master instead.
Oh, the old guy, Sebastian Shaw.
Is that his name, dude?
Sebastian Shaw. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they kept him for the one scene though. He took the helmet off, but he should have been like if you're
At the end,
he
with the
should have been
ghost.
old. Because
Yeah,
why
Jedi
wasn't
ghost.
Obi-Wan young? Obi-Wan should have been young too then. It
It's
makes
stupid.
sense.
Stupid.
Don't
Not
worry,
sure.
our tool save us.
That Force Ghost really plays with you in the after. Yeah, maybe we'll get to him at the end, Anthony.
We're
gonna
talking
get to
about
him.
him right
Yeah,
now.
it-
We're talking
Yeah.
about Ghost right now.
Force Ghost.
I
Force
told,
Ghost Stories.
Yeah.
I told Skoke last week, or it was this week. I've been working on my Alec Guinness Obi-Wan, and right now
Ooh.
it's just two words, but I think I got it. And
Yeah.
at least I'm on the trail.
Let's hear Alec Guinness Obi-Wan and Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan talking. Go for it. Let's.
Yeah.
Let me just give you my blank, just without any other interruptions. Just run, Luke, run.
Oh,
Oh,
That's so.
pretty good.
So, I'm on the trail, and I'll tell you how I broke it down, Skoke. Because again, Skoke and I are like voice nerds, and it's like crack the code. So I'm thinking in my head, Katharine Hepburn, without Norman Thayer Jr., but that,
Ooh.
but just to like level without the stammer. So just, and then it's the pitch of his voice or the tone of his voice, I think, is in my wheelhouse. So that's why I got run, Luke, run. So that's what I got so far. But I'm happy to play with Skoke and be young and Obi-Wan. Look at me looking in the past.
My
You know,
favorite quote is,
what's always fascinated me about people that do impressions is, you know how your voice doesn't sound like your voice in your head? So how do you get it to sound like someone else when you're listening to it in your head?
I hear me when I talk. I don't know, and I understand, and I can appreciate, because obviously that's why some people can't sing or whatever, or off key. But because really, as I'm sure Skoke would agree, doing voices is like singing, because you are going for rhythm and in the cadence of someone's voice and the pitch, the way they speak is just like trying to sing a note, you know?
yeah.
And sometimes I don't often try, like I don't listen and try to replicate unless it's for a job. Like usually if I'm getting paid to do an impression of something, like I did this with Elroy Jetson when I did his voice in a game. I didn't have an Elroy Jetson, so I listened to clips from the cartoon, and I would listen and then I would repeat it back in my voice and try to match, and I would just do that over and over and over again until finally I did it enough and I could just do it and
But
not
do you
have to
do
think
you
about
record it to see if it sounds the same, or you
Yes.
just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll record it and I'll listen back to it and I'll go, does that sound? It's like you're directing yourself. You're going, oh, is that close enough? No, maybe not. To me, I'm never close enough. I'm always that's not quite it. It sounds too much like me, but I don't know.
Let's do a Astro Elroy scene, and right railroad, Roy.
Hi, come on, Astro. We gotta go to get to the store. We're waiting for Mom, and Dad's waiting for us too. Okay? Yay!
That's excellent. Absolutely, man. That's great. That is both evocative of the original voice, but also you're putting your own spin on it. That's like, God, and I can't remember his name. He's in that great voiceover documentary that John DiMaggio made. I Know That Voice is the name of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the latest Fred Flintstone. And he broke it down that there's a piece of Alan Hale in there, and there's a piece of the Pebbles commercials and post Alan Reed in there, and he combines them, and he does both letter perfect of the individuals, and then shows how he melded them together, and it's like that is like magic. And again, I know Skoke feels the same way. And that SNL podcast of Dana Carvey's and David Spade, it's called Fly on the Wall. So worth listening to, because they constantly are breaking down impressions, and at the very least they'll give you the germ of the voice, and then you just got to see if it's in your vocal range or not.
Yeah, we were
Why'd you
just
hit the
talking about
head?
that.
Why'd you hit the head?
We were.
Exactly. Very
That's
good.
my person. Thank you.
I've been trying. I've been listening to that podcast because they interviewed James Arnold. Wait, what is his name?
James Austin.
Austin
James
Johnson
Austin Johnson, yeah.
from
The
Saturday
whitest-
Night Live.
The whitest name on Saturday Night Live since A. Whitney Brown, but go on.
Well, his Trump is amazing, and they were breaking it down. Dana Carvey wrote down phrases that he heard James Austin Johnson say as Trump, like just these hook kind of phrases that he could use to get into the character, and things like, "Let me tell you, I could tell you that I could tell you." You're gonna have a lot. Like, let's see, if he were to, I've been trying to figure this out myself. If he were to,
It sounds like him.
Trump talking
Lois
like
Lane-
talking
Lois
about
Lane
free
has been-
comp.
Yep, I was going to say, I got my hunk that I wrote to you. Lois Lane has been very rude to me. A lot of people are saying that, believe me.
A lot of people are saying it. A lot of people are talking about it.
She was not nice in her latest speech. She's been very not. A lot of people are telling me that, and or a lot of people are saying ... Yeah, it's ridiculous. A lot of
Like you
people
wouldn't
are-
believe.
My good friend Victor Von Doom came down to Mar-a-Lago, brought his beautiful wife. His daughter had her wedding there. It was a lovely affair.
Judy.
Yes, hello.
That's my Trump.
Exactly.
A lot of people are talking. A lot of
That's
people
your
are
Trump?
saying it.
Wait a minute, that's your
That
Trump?
was my Trump. Yeah.
All right, I wanted clarification. If I was going to do my Cary Grant. My Cary Grant is 1962 charade Cary Grant. Reggie, I beg you. I'm telling you the truth.
Mine is, why'd you hit the hair? Don't
He's
hit
right.
the hair.
Oh my God. Hey, faster,
Oh my God.
Gina. Faster. It's so weird.
It's so weird. What? Yeah.
I was
So-
watching on Facebook videos Travolta and Jimmy Fallon doing dueling Travolta imitations of his best roles, and of course they both had to do Barbarino, which was fantastic. But yeah, I think Fallon did. Why you hit my hair? So
What the heck?
It's
How
those
about-
hooks. If you can find those hooks, those certain phrases that get you into it, then it's a lot easier to tap in. And sometimes you'll start out and you'll learn certain phrases and you can do those really well, but you can't really talk like it's a dialect. But eventually, if you do it enough, you can figure it out and sometimes hook a bunch of those phrases together, like the Trump. Like, I'll tell you, a lot of people are talking about it. People are talking about Free Comic Book Day. Terrific. They're doing it. Beautiful downtown Skokie. They're tremendous. I can tell you that. But Jimmy the Muscle, he's in the back. He's cooking up hot dogs like you wouldn't believe. I can tell you that.
So yeah, it's the hooks because didn't Will Ferrell used to do George W. but like not really well, but he kind of had like those one or two hooks, right?
Yeah, he'd make up words that Bush didn't really say,
Strategery.
but it sounded close enough to something that he would say
Right.
that Bush actually started using the phrases that Will Ferrell said in actual speeches later.
Well, and also, it wasn't the voice; it was the persona, and he could screw up his face like he was trying to make a point. And isn't this cool? So he had the Bush attitude, and that really supplemented his lack of doing a real letter perfect voice.
That
But
guy
that's great.
Caliendo did that. Caliendo
Yeah.
was his name?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Frank Caliendo.
Frank,
yeah.
yeah. Well, it depended
he's
on the voice, because God, I mean, he had Madden cold, John Madden.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it was perfect. I mean, and again, that's why, like, I can do a half-ass certain things. Like, my Trump is nowhere near Skokes. Skokes got it down. And then, again, that's why I'm like, hey, man, I hope you heard this when we heard James Austin Johnson, because it's, again, Harvey does tons of these. I bloody think my Michael Caine is a bit better than Dana Carvey's. But again, he got it from The Trip and Rob Brydon and Steve Coogan. No, it's fun. I mean, again, you guys know it's fun.
I can do Ross from Friends. Ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay.
He goes,
I'm from Evanston. I was in school in Northwestern.
I like dinosaurs.
He went to
And then-
Northwestern.
And then
I can do Ernie and Bert. Ready? Ernie?
Yep.
Hey, Bert.
and where's your bird?
I can do that.
I can just
I can
Everybody
do that one
Bert.
too. But it's combined with a joke. Hey, Ernie, you want to go get some ice cream? Sure, Bert. That's it. That's what
Oh.
Exactly. Well, that's like my one-word Sean Connery imitation, which is someone's got to ask him a question like, Sean, do you enjoy filming in Spain? Yes.
Yes. You're
So
no
you just got to
longer a
put that
slave.
SH on the S. Yes.
I like it. These.
Your Stan Lee is pretty good, Johnny.
Yes. Oh God, I was
Yes.
watching a Star Trek review of an old episode of Deep Space Nine, and they start off by saying, "Welcome to the land of beige," and
Oh, cool.
and they're not wrong. It's like, because the future is filled with nothing but beige and earth tones, and it's so God. It was they were doing the Picard episode where he's on the planet and he lives a whole lifetime and he learns how to play the flute. Oh, Kanan, it's so good to have you part of the community.
Well, I read that all the earth tones are subliminal because they're so far from Earth that they intentionally put all the earth tones in there to remind people of Earth.
Earth
No,
tones.
I just made that up. That's not
Call
true.
them the Earth
Yeah.
tone.
Earth tones are more like wah. That's an earth tone.
CPAP tones.
You were
Exactly.
talking about singers and people like having doing impressions that they have to like do it in their head, like a dialogue in their head. Do you guys have that? Because I was going around the internet a while ago, that internal monologue when you think about stuff. Did you hear about this?
I'm always
Must
thinking
have
about
it?
get
monologue.
free. It's like it's like Adam West doing exposition as Batman. That's inner dialogue. Must
Yeah.
break free.
I'm amazed that people don't have that.
I have that all the time.
Me
I'm
too.
playing,
It
I'm
sounds
playing a
like-
movie right now in my head.
I'll confess, I talk to myself. I won't deny it.
Yeah, I'm
I
talking to
do it
myself right
too.
You do it out loud.
now. I'm in the other room right now talking to
Scoot
myself.
is being
when
real
I'm driving.
silent. So.
Yeah, when I'm driving, I do it. Like, if I'm thinking of a story, I'll become the characters and talk out loud.
No, I'm saying inside your head all day long.
No, it's not welcome to our broadcast day, and then it's nonstop till you're Go on,
Sometimes
John.
I'm female.
It
in my
is.
life.
It is. It is for me.
All
That's
right.
what I'm saying.
What's your name,
You ever-
Marty?
Is it like that movie
Natasha.
with Will
Oh,
Ferrell and
Romanoff.
Dustin Hoffman and Emma Thompson, where Emma Thompson is the narration voice of Will Ferrell's head?
No,
It
that's stupid.
miles, 12 blocks to make it to the bus stop every day.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
like
great
the
movie.
Joaquin Phoenix movie when he's listening to Siri.
No,
Oh, that's
see,
right. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
but
That's cool.
that the one I'm talking about is called, I think, Stranger Than Fiction. Comic book connection on Stranger Than Fiction.
Yes.
The opening theme is performed by the Spoons, who I love, but also Spoons or Spoon. I'm an old man. I like
There's no spoon.
the Beatle is Spoon. Is it Spoon or Spoons? Spoon.
There is no spoon, Johnny.
It's
I
one of
don't
the
know.
two. All right, it's one of the two.
Fork.
But
I
regardless,
think we're all too old, I think, for that one.
Matt Fraction.
The Matrix.
Matt Fraction used to be in the film graphics business before he really started writing comics, and he did all the graphics, the opening credits and closing credits
Oh,
from that
yeah.
movie, Stranger Than Fiction.
You know what spooning leads to?
I think it's Spoon, just singular. God,
Cuddling.
I
No,
like.
leads to forking.
Hey now, I love
That's good dad joke. I told all my kids that when they were in kindergarten.
Natasha, everyone.
Regular. I'm an idiot. All right, how you doing? Once
What
again,
happens? What happens when you have a spork? When you're sporking?
Spork,
I wanna
they should be a tribute band to Spork. All we play are Spoon covers.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Good
Spork.
sporking event.
I love the Spork.
All I know is that if spooning leads to forking, then sporking whatever happens there, you definitely have to clean up after. That's all I know.
Definitely involves three people.
It's when it's when you use three fingers. Spork.
Yeah. Whoa.
Come on, everybody
Right.
knows that. That's like when Scoot was doing great images from the Toledo train show. Hey, tell them what you showed us.
There was this Toledo train show at the Amtrak station here in Toledo, and they had all these model trains set up. And one of the little model trains had a little model of Tony Pacos, and inside the
cool.
window was a little cutout of Jamie Farr. And I took a picture of it and I sent it. I'll post it, and I like pink. I'll post it in there after this.
But he called it he wrote Toledo train show, and I'm like, it costs $50 extra to get a Toledo train show if you try really hard. You know? I'd like a Cleveland steamer followed by a Toledo train show. Yeah, we got that.
Oh, man.
Big with the Ohio hookers. Let's scoot
Can
out.
you go to? Can you take a train from Cleveland to Toledo? I bet you could, right?
Yeah, maybe you could. The
Nice.
Amtrak goes through Toledo, so we're
Just take a shot. Boom.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they got it. Come on. Seriously, that's like, that'd be like, well, you can't get to Peoria from Chicago, on the train. It's like, of course you can.
What if they say you can't go there because there's no track? We didn't build a track. Like
Well,
they forgot to
you're
build
right,
one
but I would
track
think
to one
that-
city.
I would think that most states, unless you turn it down that infrastructure money,
Mhm.
but no, it's that's at the very least for commerce, for
We
business.
should go to Alaska. Alaska would be good.
Who did I just talk to who was telling me they're up in Alaska and how like crazy it is?
Jamie
In terms of the
Jesse
remote-
Pinkman's up there.
Who is?
Sarah
Jesse
Palin.
Pinkman.
Dave
Sarah
Harper's
Palin.
up there too.
Jesse Pinkman. Yeah.
Sarah who is up there?
Sarah
Jesse-
Palin.
Well, yeah.
Jesse Pinkman. I tried
came
saying
out
it 4
first.
times. Yeah,
I heard you. No, I heard.
Whenever Artie speaks, people talk.
I caught it.
Yes, I'm not going to talk.
I heard
sorry,
it all 4 times.
Yeah, I know.
Good hair, Artie.
Thanks, man. I tried. I conditioned, shampooed. I did it all today.
I'd like you and Sam Humphreys to do dueling white guy froze.
Best thing about this haircut is when I'm tired, I can lay down anywhere. I don't need a pillow. It's nice and soft. Anywhere. I can sleep on concrete with this hair. It's comfortable.
You're like the kid in So I Married an Axe Murderer. Kid, move!
I'm never going to watch that.
That's a great movie. That's like the last great Mike Myers movie. Yeah, I know, exactly. Thank you,
It's
Tom.
another Campabasso. Look at that guy.
Oh,
He's like a clone of Skoke.
I know him, and he had a child recently who he named Oliver.
Yeah.
Mm.
You're
Congratulations.
Oliver Campabasso. I like
is
that.
Oliver a family name? Is that like a common name?
No.
No, I'll tell you the story. My brother and his wife got engaged in Italy, and this was
Italy.
I think five
Italy.
years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. And they went up in a hot air balloon when they were in Italy, and they got engaged while in the balloon.
So technically, were
no?
they? Yeah, were they in Italy or were they above
No.
Italy?
If she said no, would she have had to plummet to the ground? So you want to live? You better fucking marry me.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
like kills himself, and then she drifts off because now the balloon's lighter.
Okay.
Goes all the way to
That's
space.
pretty smart. Yeah, that's pretty
Really?
smart. Yeah.
There's
We're
only one answer. I mean,
I don't know.
Go on,
Maybe-
continue. So Oliver.
so Oliver was the name of the guy driving the hot air balloon.
Oh, that's sweet. Okay, because I think I've told you guys before, it is really the Greek tradition, whether there are brothers involved or not, for the fathers to name their children after the grandfather. So there are a million Greeks. They make fun of it in my big fat Greek wedding, where there's like 25 people named Nick, and I have two first cousins that are both named Stacy and Teddy, a boy and a girl. And when we'd see them, two sets of cousins, 4 people, and literally it'd be Uncle Gus, Aunt Vera, Stacy Teddy, and we'd just do it in the Greek voice and everything. My sister and I just to amuse ourselves. Stacy Teddy. It's like, okay. So,
I like that.
thank you.
I was named after my grandmother, so that tradition goes on in the Italians too.
Let's
Oh,
name it
Grandma
Franco.
Yeah,
exactly.
Grandma
Yeah,
Franco.
Grandma Franco.
Exactly.
That's cool.
It didn't work out. She wore sensible shoes and was very businesslike, but everybody loved her.
Yeah, good, handsome woman.
Yeah,
Drive
that's true. Do you drive a hot air balloon?
Isn't that it?
You could drive it. Yeah, you drive it.
There's a wheel. You turn.
I think you have to, right?
Press the gas.
You could drive it
Somebody-
into the ground. You could drive it in the air.
The Homer Simpson moment in the hot air balloon when it's out of control and he prays and he's like, I don't know if you really exist or if you're up there, but if you can hear me, please save me, Superman.
Remember, I went to the FX show. I think it was when I first met Brother Bear. One of those times, went to the FX show, and they treat you like a celebrity. You know, they drive you around, take you to dinner, and they arranged a hot air balloon ride. And so we arrived, all these people, and they said, "Come on, let's go in there. Let's go in the balloon." And I looked at the balloon, and it was dark out, and I said, "Nah." And they're like, "What? You don't want to go on a balloon?" No. And they're like, "Why? Why not?" I said, "Well, first it's dark out, and then second, I'm already dad. I got kids at home, wife. I don't need to go in the air. I'm gonna stay right here." So I refused to go in the balloon.
I don't blame
I'm not gonna do it. It's like the other guy with the backcopter wanted to take me and Franco in the air in his backcopter, and I'm looking at me and looked at Franco, looked at the guy, and I said, "Both of us together?" He said, "Yeah." I was like, "No." Because together, all 3 of us probably weigh about 750 pounds combined. And I don't know if that little backcopter from the 60s TV show could carry us. And he went, "Yeah, of course." I'm like, "Nah, I'm not going."
Yeah.
Do
So I
music.
refused. Yeah. What's
Do
that?
the music. Do the backcopter music. Also the Batboat music as well.
And this,
Particularly alternate Bat vehicles. They're very good. That's excellent.
but I refused to go in
Could
that
be it,
balloon.
Robin.
I don't know how that balloon was going to lift me and whoever else was in there. You know, like there would have to be me and at least someone else operating it. And I'm at least 230 pounds. And I don't know how much another adult man would be, around 200, maybe less,
Plus
maybe more.
Plus the pilot.
Plus whoever's in there. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to go in a balloon. When all you're depending on is how hot the air is. Like, nah. It's like, it has to be
I was
hotter.
going to
than
say,
the
plus
road.
all that hot air. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I
Oh,
don't
we're
want to
getting
go.
a northeaster wind over there. That might affect the balloon, but
Do they have
might be
seatbelts?
safe. Feel free
All
to
that-
climb aboard.
All that hot air in there. It's like Johnny would be in the balloon with you.
Yeah.
Oh, good
Like, do
lord!
they have seatbelts in the balloon? That'd be
As soon as I stepped in the basket, it'd be like, all right, you 3 people, step off. What are you doing? Come on. Come
Even
on.
when my kids would go horseback riding, I take them to go ride the horses, and they get on a horse. They always ask me, "Daddy, you want to get on?" Like, nope, I've never ridden a horse. So when they would get on a horse, I would tell them, "Make sure to buckle up, put your seatbelt on," and they'd always look. Dad, there's no seatbelt.
I would love to do a zip
That's
line,
unsafe.
but I have to lose at least my COVID 30 that I've put on before even attempting a zip line, and it's
He
like
just tie you up real good.
Chucky's done the zip line. He's like,
Did he?
yeah, and he's like, I don't know how to break it to you, dude. Right now, you're too fat to do it. And I'm like, no, that's good. I need to hear shit like that.
We did the Bigfoot zip line last summer. We did the Bigfoot in the Wisconsin Dells. That was real cool. The first zip line is scary, but then the next, you just jump on the thing.
Sure.
Real
No,
fast.
it
was
no,
cool.
I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah, you just
I
gotta
would love
watch your
to
hands.
parasail, but once again, you need about three speedboats to
Yeah.
get me up there. I think.
Yeah, he needs and a motor maybe on your like a big fan, James Bond stuff.
They do those too, or they got the jetpacks that work with water.
Like those Everglade ones where you skip around on the gator
Oh, yeah.
ponds.
Like the dad on Flipper. Yes,
Mhm.
yes, absolutely. That was the only good thing about the Flipper show. After about 7, it's like, all right,
I
Flipper's
remember
over.
watching as a little kid, but I don't remember much.
Faster
Just
than
remember you would talk.
lightning, no one could see is smarter
That's
than
right.
me.
But
You know, that's when
we talk.
I have trouble when people say that, what are you going to do with Aquaman? All his adventures are in the water. You can't do many
Yeah.
stories. How many stories did they do with Flipper? You could definitely do that many stories
Yeah.
with Aquaman.
Or Sea Hunt with Lloyd Bridges. I only had 10 minutes left in my air tank, and time was running out.
That's right.
That's every episode of Sea Hunt.
Jacques Cousteau, every episode he was underwater.
The best. That show was awesome because I always say, because it was happening alongside the space race, that undersea was just as cool as outer space.
Hell
Just
yeah, it was. There's more space down there too.
Our first dive showed
Hey.
many examples of plankton and coral.
Plankton.
What about Darwin from Sequest? Did you guys ever watch that program?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awful.
I know
Dolphin,
Sequest.
Darwin loves Bridger.
Yeah. Why did he talk like that?
I don't know.
Or
That
SpongeBob,
show-
he's underwater.
That show should have been a lot cooler. That's all I'm saying.
Sequest, was that with the Jaws guy?
Yeah.
Was that Sequest?
Yes.
And Roy
Like
Scheider.
Star Trek? Yeah.
Roy Scheider, yeah.
And then Michael
that's what he is.
Ironside took over.
I never saw it. It was like Star Trek underwater, right? That's what
Yeah, but it was a
Yeah.
little
Yeah,
more
it was
candy ass. A
lot-
little more,
Was it
worse.
candy ass?
yeah, a
It was
little
a
more
lot worse.
family friendly
Was
than
sure-
Star Trek.
Is that like
Jonathan
sugary
Brandis
buttocks?
was in it. The late Jonathan
Yeah,
Brandis.
the kid actor that died that was in the
The real
Jack-
good-looking
no,
one
it was, Chuck
with the
Norris.
eyebrows.
Really? He had eyebrows?
Yeah,
That's
it was
Yeah,
Really?
like
but good ones. Yeah.
it was like Karate Kid, but like totally the white version of Karate Kid, basically.
Hey, you guys want to know a fun fact about Jacques Cousteau?
Yes.
Do you know like all that exploring stuff? Do you know how it didn't make him a lot of money, but he was independently wealthy. Yeah.
Why
Because he,
is
he invented the scuba stuff.
Did he?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. Well, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
interesting though, because I would think that ABC paid him a good amount of money to do all those underwater specials that he did.
Well, that came later, but yeah, before doing that, he
Oh, I believe that, but no, I mean, but again, it's I would be curious. I mean, obviously, I believe the Cousteau estate, and I know his if it's not his son, his grandson is still doing the same thing. So I know they're still active and out there. But no, I would think that they should make money, and I would think people would donate given what they have done to make people aware of the undersea world, and I'm sure they're involved in trying to clean the ocean and all the other good stuff. Good stuff.
It's making me think of Kevin Costner. A little over 10 years ago, there was that BP oil spill.
Yep.
And they could not stop that thing from leaking. And finally, Kevin Costner had some sort of machines that he came up with, or his company did, and that's what ended up helping to clean the oil spill.
Yeah, it would extract the oil from the water and everything. No, and it was, they were really doing it. So, no, it's...
Yeah, I believe the machines were called Wyatt Earps, I believe.
Really?
No, I made
They
that up.
throw Dove soap in the water or
We
something?
wanted to call it
That's how they clean
Mariner,
all
like
the-
Water World, but it was
they
such a
clean all the
bomb.
pigeons that were oily. Something like that.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Pigeons get oily.
Yes.
Oily pigeons.
Pigeons
You got to clean them up.
Mr. Connery, are you for cleaning the oceans? Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
See, my Connor would be like Yachimuhuha. See, Yachimuhuha is
Hey,
the ultimate yes.
have you seen the pictures of Arnold's son, the illegitimate one that is a physique just like Arnold, because
half-
now he's in his young 20s, so he can actually be a bodybuilder. Yakata.
That's the half-made one?
Yes.
He's
Half
half-made.
made.
Yeah.
Half Schwarzenegger, half made.
Half Arnold, half-made. Yeah.
That's what it says on his visa. I don't know if we can let you in. You're half made.
Yeah, they're like, what's check the boxes.
Come
Asian,
on!
mom,
It's not my fault.
Pacific
I'm a
Islander.
victim here.
It's like half.
My
made,
mom is
on.
half made. Don't hold it against her.
It's
That
like,
is bigotry against
Yeah.
cleaning people. Heinemacke Flaus.
it's like, what do you like on your bed? You like a
Come
a
on!
rose or a piece of chocolate?
She's a human being. Why are you being so discriminatory?
She's a lovely woman, handsome. She's a
Plus,
beauty.
on the father's side, my father's name means black plowman. How much more racist can you be?
That's right. I always know the safe words when referring to somebody as either a woman or man, either one, to avoid all of the judgment calls or racism, anything like that. You always call a woman a beauty. Oh, she's a nice beauty. And then for a guy, you always use the word fella. Oh, look at that fella. You know, beauty and fella. Those are safe words to use if you don't know what else to say.
Well, I always call women friends and men friends, but I call everybody buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Buddy, how are you? And truly, and it's great because most women got what I'm trying to say. And it's like, yeah, I'm not trying to be creepy, but you are my friend. And I want you to know that I think of you as my friend. Therefore, because I was a sweetie, and I still am with very close women friends, and will catch myself and apologize. But they're like, yeah, John, I've known you for 40 years or whatever. It's not a big deal.
Call me baby if you want.
But with younger friends, yeah, I call them buddy. I mean, good Lord, I could think of a million female comic creators that it's like, hey, buddy,
baby. I just
You
gotta
always
say
say,
that.
Are
you
any
always
of them
say-
half-made?
Half
Yeah,
made.
any-
Come on,
Half made.
give me a break. She is cleaning for you. You should let
Comes
me
with a
in. Come
whisper.
on.
She comes on a
That's
date
right.
with the broom.
Yeah, I don't believe I'm fully complete. I'm only half made. Yeah.
Well, like Brad said, Cyborg's son. Yeah, I'll be back to clean your room like my mother does.
It's American made, like Hulk Hogan.
American made, yeah.
Thank
Someone sent me our good friend Andrew Clark sent me a picture of Hulk Hogan all cutified, and he called it She-Hulk. Like, how they do the Star Trek guys as girls and the Beatles as girls? Well, he sent me a Hulk Hogan as a girl called She-Hulk. But she had a mustache, too.
Brother.
Sergio's here. Oh, yeah, good to see you again.
Hello, Sergio. Hello.
Hello, Sergio. Sebastian, that's his dad, Sergio. Hope he's still drawn.
Like it.
Speaking of wrestling,
Yeah.
have you guys read Agents of Slam?
Wow, better zoom in on that.
Scope texted me. He found all the Easter eggs in there.
I went combing through this thing for Easter eggs, and oh, did I find them? Look at that.
Ooh,
called
that's a lovely book.
Agents of Slam by Dave Scheidt and Scoot McMahon.
Scoop McMania.
Crack Mahone.
Mac Mahone.
Scoop McMania.
I read the whole thing. It's wonderful, and
You made it through.
I made it. I made it through the whole thing. He's got credits in the back. He mentions all of us in the credits, which was surprising. And
That means I get royalties.
I had no idea.
Nice.
I'm not
He's
going to make
got
fun
the-
of this book anymore.
yeah, Johnny. You're in there too.
Wow. Did he spell my name right?
No,
See?
Yoko Chips.
he spelled Yoko Chips wrong.
Yoko.
Did you write Yoko Chips or did you
Yeah,
write Cat
I think
Chips?
so.
That's cool. No, I'm cool with that.
Yoko.
No, it's
good.
like, as I said, good Lord, Scoot's been talking about this book for 2 goddamn years. Thank God it's out. When's that coming out? April of 2022. And I'm like, that's great. It's 2019. Why are you telling me this now? Well, I'm working on it, and there you go,
what they wanted.
Anthony. Nice comment from Anthony. I devoured
thank
it.
you.
Slam and wrapped up. Very nice.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah,
Scope doing a narration of page by page reading. Absolutely, man.
there are a lot of good characters in there. I like the characters. I just went in buying into this idea that wrestlers are defending the planet. I've just accepted it from the start. And it's not
true.
like
It's what happens in real life too.
that's our world today. It's not like this is going to appeal to,
Middle age.
yeah. It's
Knights
it has a wide appeal, I should say.
Great. So I'm not even going to
And,
read it now. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell?
I like it.
Yeah, this is the most backhanded compliment I've ever heard. I gotta be honest. I'm not
I
saying
liked
this
it.
for everybody, but I am.
But it is. But it
Oh,
isn't.
All right, another voice I've been working on is from Strange New Worlds, Dr. Mabenga, and I got to watch it obviously because this is an African gentleman, like literally from Africa. But I love the cadence of his voice and the way he speaks, and it's very it's very synonymous with Maurice Evans' portrayal of Dr. Zaius, and I don't mean that in any rude way, but it's like, you know, literally, and I'll do my Dr. Zaius voice and be like, I put my daughter in the transporter buffer, and it's like, yeah, I get it.
I watched that guy who does the Zaius as a late night talk show host, and
Dana Gould.
he doesn't know how to be Zaius. He doesn't do it.
But he's got the mask and the costume.
He's got the mask and the costume, but he never mentions filthy humans. He doesn't talk. He doesn't insult his guests.
The Forbidden Zone.
He doesn't talk like I
I
got bored. Like
you gotta instead of watching the talk show, because he's really leaned into, and I like it that Dr. Zaius is like old showbiz guy and will say stupid things like, "Never get in a Parcheesi game with Alan Alda. He cheats constantly."
Yeah, but the fact that he's Zaius doesn't matter. Like it does. Like he could be himself, and the jokes will still probably be better.
You gotta watch.
He doesn't act like Zaius.
He did a lot. He used to do a live performance, and it's on YouTube before he did the talk show, and he's doing Dr. Zaius performing an evening with Mark Twain one-man show.
Does he act like him though?
Because he acts like Zaius and that. Yeah, he goes
because Zaius hates people.
Yeah. He says stuff like, and of course I'll do my voice instead of Dana's voice.
Yeah, yours is better.
But he's like, when I was a boy growing up, there were two ambitions in my life. One, the annihilation of the human race, and the other, to be a riverboat captain on the Mississippi.
Yeah,
that's
like,
it is so
that's
funny.
all you got to do.
It is so funny. He's great, and he loves Planet of the Apes. He worships Planet of the Apes the way I worship Star Trek. He is so chapter and verse. So Artie, I get it, but he's one of us. He's one of us.
He doesn't know how to be in character as Zaius.
We're just spoiled by Johnny's good Zaius.
Yeah, like I expected him to be real nasty and hate his guests, and like you're very talented for a primate and stuff like that. You should have told the people like you're insignificant, all these things. Too bad your demise will come soon. He never mentions all that stuff. Like he just acts like Johnny Carson, which it wasn't
one of his first fake commercials for the Dr. Zaius talk show was a line of salad dressings from Jamie Farr. And I can't remember the flavors, but they're all disgusting. Like literally, like armpit. Yeah, exactly. Like literally, like it's like, and they have Jamie Farr's picture on the salad dressing bottles. Hey, it's so Klinger-esque. It's fantastic.
There obviously should be hot pickles on there for one of them.
Incidentally, nothing brightens up a salad more than hot pickles from Pacos.
Mm-hmm.
Little known fact that they're all delivered to you, like, you know how you have like Instacart or Uber drivers. These are delivered to you by a guy named Oliver in a hot air balloon.
Oh, and they just drop them on your house. Bam! They don't lower the balloon. No one knows how to control that.
You hear it hit the roof of your house. Oh, delivery chair.
Splatters. Oh, here we are. It's like the Wizard of Oz didn't know how to land that balloon.
Mudhen is the euphemism when you take the gamble and lose when you're driving and your shorts get filled. Oh no, man! I got a mudhen. I'm riding on a mudhen right now.
Need some napkins with that mudhen.
He did a fake 70s cop trailer with Zaius as one of the cops. That's what I'm saying. He's very funny, and you're right, Artie. I agree with you. He doesn't have the voice. You know, he kind of sounds.
He doesn't act like Zaius, though.
He kind of sounds. No, he's like I said. He's old showbiz guy that is so jaded. So there you go. Hey, what's up? Obviously, that's I believe Mario who's leaving us to watch the Mavs. Thanks for letting us know, Mario. We were all worried.
Mario, terrific guy. I can tell you that.
How would Skoke voice Abraham Lincoln?
Oh.
Well, I probably talk a lot like this. I can tell you that. Oh, my name is. I like I like the theater. I like the theater very much, but not too much.
Like to be slathered in mustard and
I like the hot link.
He only says hot link.
That's right, Lank. Yeah, that's there's already a voice that we've been all doing.
It's like Vin Diesel could do it.
How was the grand opening or the release event for Abraham Linkage? Did you enjoy it?
Sold like 60 copies in that one day. Abraham Lincoln. And then the
Oh,
next day
yeah.
we sold another like 20 or 25 or something like that.
Nice.
Are
Yeah,
they
we did
available
really
on your
good.
website, Artie?
Yeah, it's on my site. Yeah, carbaltazar.com or electricmilkcomics.com. I
You-
also bought the domain name. I bought it famouscartoonist.com because when people
Ah!
meet me, yeah, and it goes right to my site.
Good stuff.
And it cost me like $1 a month. So like, yes, I'll take it.
Yeah,
Sign me
that's
up for 10 years. And so, because people meet me and when I tell them my name, they always look at you and go, yeah, okay. But when I say famous cartoonist, they remember that, So I always make them look it right on their phone. But it's cool. But we did really well. I had 11 cases of Abraham Linkage, and I'm down to 7 right now. So I sold out 4. Is that 4 cases? They're gone. So I'm making more books. I got Webster the Spider Monkey coming up. I only got 1 page to finish, and that one's coming up. So it's pretty cool.
Spider Monkey.
Webster
like
the Spider Monkey. Yeah, he
like it.
fights his bad guys, Dr. Octoplatypus and Rhinoceros Jack. He fights a bunch of guys, and I've been printing. I'm gonna have like six new books for C2E2 in August. It's gonna be cool, and I'm making them all myself, so it's gonna be fun.
Speaking
much.
of August as well, they just announced today that Saved by the Bell Rev.
Oh yeah,
Art and I are
Titans
part
return.
of. Yep.
yeah.
Hey, by the
Tiny-
bell, what?
Tell us about that.
Oh, the Bell
Say-
Reeve prison.
Saved by the Bell Reeve. Bell Rev. Yeah,
It's
Bell
Bell
Reeve.
Oh,
Yeah.
very funny. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great
It's
idea. Go on.
It's a back to school book, and it was cool because like.
Tiny Titans
DC
meet up with the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and the cool part about it was the book is a little older. It's like teens, so we were able to do a few more things in Tiny Titans that we can't do. Like we used the word "kill" is in there,
Wow.
and we blew up a guy's head. So
Wow.
we actually yeah, and it's like we were able to push it a little more because I know that in regular kids books you can't have people burning or getting killed, but we did that. So that was kind of fun. And
I hope you don't get the grief that Brian Azzarello got for rewriting half of the Killing Joke and having and I'm totally kidding for your purposes, but remember that like he had a Batgirl
yeah,
and Batman hook up.
yeah, they're
And,
fornicating.
Like, yeah, and people were very upset.
Now we don't have any
Very upset.
fornication.
No, I
There's no-
realize that, and
There's no movies. Yeah.
it's only fresh in my mind because Brubaker and I were just recording a
Yeah.
new word balloon, and he brought it out. It's like, man, look at how bad that.
But
was.
it's cool
And I'm
because
like,
it's in the same continuity as when the Tiny Titans were in Harlequin Zero. Remember
Okay.
in that one page of Tiny Titans. So when Harley shows up, she says, "Oh, you guys, where did we leave off?" And so it kind of continues a little bit. So it's
Like
real
it.
fun. Yeah, it was cool to get in there again and just go nuts.
when
Yeah.
when is that out? Is that out in
I
August?
think in late August.
August,
or
yeah.
Maybe
Mhm.
September, or early, yeah, August, sometime in August.
Okay, God, I
Okay.
hope you guys have advanced copies so you could show
Yeah.
it C2E2
And then-
alongside my beautiful steaks and my wine collection.
Yeah, I
So,
think it's
excellent.
an 80-page. It's an 80-page book, but we have one story in there, Tiny
Yeah,
Titans.
it's a one shot. It's a bunch of
Yeah,
stories.
a bunch of
Look at
short
that.
stories.
Do the Skoke do the Trump Mr. Pizza guy stuff that was being asked for earlier in the dialogue.
I can tell you what, we've been talking to the pizza guy from Home Alone. We've been talking to the guy who shovels the salt all over the place. He's terrific. Good friend of mine, actually. Our wives play golf on the weekend. I can tell you that I can tell you.
James Austin Johnson would be very proud of it. That's very good.
It almost
It's gotten better.
I'm trying to steal from him like crazy.
But
And
that's
then-
you got it.
Cosby
You
in there,
cracked
too.
the code, man. You
Well,
are,
then
I'm
Skoke
like
went,
I'm in first grade, man. You're a high school senior when it comes to the Trump voice. That's
and then Skoke though when Trump finds out someone did something against him that he doesn't like, he like instantly turns on him. So I might say, well, that guy shoveling the salt that you like, he had a Biden sign in his yard actually.
That's why we don't like him. We don't
Yeah,
like him.
people
He's
tell
a
me that.
terrible guy.
Yep.
Terrible guy.
Yeah,
Not
like the
terrific,
guy-
not tremendous.
his governor primary choice for Georgia got blown out in the primaries and stuff. And I mean, he could still possibly do something, but yeah, he's like, well, I don't know. I'm being told he didn't spend any money. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
he
being
turns
told. A
on
lot of
him
people are
instantly.
saying that. Yeah, and again, that's why he's got my vote. You can trust him. Okay, okay.
I like this guy. He's fun.
Speaking of Trump, No, I got nothing.
No? All right. Gotta tell you,
I'm listening.
had a great talk with Victor Von Doom and Lex Luthor. We sat down, we worked things out. We're making a commemorative coin of the summit.
Oh,
You're gonna
that's
have Doom and me on one side. You're gonna have me and Lex on the other. A lot of people want it.
good. A lot of people want it.
I've always been
You can
more of a
love it.
Marvel guy. Well, Marvel doesn't like you. I hate Marvel. DC is what I've always liked.
Yeah, I hate DC. Mr. Marvel himself used to come to Mar-a-Lago. Great guy. I've met him many times.
Modoc's a lovely woman.
I like that Stanley,
Modoc.
terrific guy. Stanley, beige man. He always wore that sweater. I love the sweater. We all love sweater, don't we?
I always
like
had a
sweaters.
good time on the East Coast when I'd go to a Trump hotel. I'd double down on 4 and always walk away with money on the 25th.
You know
We
who
love
else
you,
enjoys
Stan. We
sweaters?
love you. Our wives play golf together. We love you.
Did you see
Don't
that?
even know your wife, but okay.
Did you see that deal that the estate of Stan Lee made for his likeness for the next 20 years?
Yes.
Terrible deal. Not a
Gonna
good
be
deal.
idiot.
A lot of people are talking
A
about
lot
it.
of people are talking about it. Not a good deal. Poor Stan. He's not a. He's rolling in his grave right now. I can tell you that. That I can tell you.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
he's going
that
to
is
show
a
up.
bad deal. I saw that.
A
telling
very
you,
bad
man.
deal.
Stands to be CGI, I think.
On the one hand, I hope he runs because I look forward to the dialogue. On the other hand, I'm scared that he's going to run because I
Yeah.
think he can win. And
He's
that's
going to
scary.
win again. It's
It
gonna
could happen. He'll be
I
like
called it the
Grover,
first time.
like Grover Cleveland.
You know,
Grover Cleveland,
Before you cast
for-
any votes in November, make sure that you pick up Dead Man Tells the Spooky Tales. It comes out
Oh, that's
in
right.
A lot of people
September.
are talking about Dead
Yeah.
Man. Fine
Put that in.
anthology.
Wonderful people working on that book. You got Andy Price. What a guy. I like him a lot. You got Sarah Richard. Terrific artist.
gal.
She's
Terrific gal.
wonderful. What you know, very wonderful, very talented. You got a lot of people, a lot of good people in that book. I can tell you.
I'm in that book too, Trump.
Oh, Scoot!
Scott McMahon.
I left him out. I'm a
Scoot-
terrible
Scoot
guy.
McMahon.
Let me tell you why.
How'd you say it? That's how the Italian shoemaker's got to say his name. How'd you do it, Skoke? Yes.
Mahone?
Scott
Ooh.
Scott Mahane.
Oh yeah, I love that Scoot McMahon. Terrific guy. No, he's a wonderful artist. I left him out. I can't believe I forgot him.
Did you see when Trump was in Michigan at a rally? He pronounced the food the store Meyer. He pronounced it Meijer, and then he got kind of mad when someone tried to correct him. He goes or as some people call it Meyer. I guess they tell me. He goes where we come from we call it Meijer. It's spelled Meijer, but I guess they say Meyer. And he was up there talking to people from Michigan who are familiar with it, and they're like, "Yeah, it's Meyer."
I know Mr. Meijer. He's a good, terrific guy. I know Tony Paco, wonderful person.
Jamie Foxx.
He's Lebanese, you know. We're talking to Tony Paco. We're talking to the Lebanese. We're going to put something together. We're talking to Jimmy the Muscle. He's going to cook up some hot dogs for Pacos. I can tell you that. It's going to be terrific.
Jimmy the Muscle.
Hey, dude.
We're gonna come at you with the sulfur biscuit. I can tell you that.
Yes, he will.
Jimmy the Muscle with the sulfur biscuit, always there, always ready.
I
They
was
don't
seeing some of these
smell,
brats and drinking Schlitz at the same time, dude. You better stand back.
They smell not so nice. Not so nice. Those
Not so nice.
Happy
A lot of
Mother's Day.
people are talking about Jimmy the Muscle sulfur biscuits. Not a popular item on the
Let me
menu
tell
right
you
now.
something. They creep up on you. They creep up on you.
Legendary.
They creep up on you. If you're in a hotel room with Jimmy the Muscle, you better watch yourself.
Better make sure
You better bring a clothespin for your nose. I can.
In
That's
20
right,
years,
Gordon.
Jimmy's going to be watching this.
or at least a lighter, so that you can douse the gas quite quickly. That's right.
Our apologies to Jimmy the Muscle. We mean you no harm.
Hey, dude,
We'll see
come
you in
on.
20 years, my friend.
Hey, Jimmy's internet level right now is like at 2001. So I don't know. Hey, dude, how you doing? I think I'm figuring out this video stuff, dude.
Did you see that new Star Wars trailer? Yeah, it's called Rise of Skywalker.
I'm so glad he's online.
Yeah.
Truly, there was a while when it was like kind of still Facebook for. I mean, only for older people, and I'm old. I'm either the same age or slightly older or younger than Jimmy. But that said, he used to get really mad when we'd have parties at Challengers or even maybe and he's like, "How come nobody called me?" And it's like, well, dude, they got Facebook. Well, I don't have Facebook. I'm like, this is kind of where everybody's going. Let's go, Jim. Come on.
I can't wait for his review of the Obi-Wan series like next year.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
Dude, there's this new show called Breaking Bad. It's
I'll
awesome.
even say you can't buy every streamer, and I've got lots of friends. They're still buying TV shows on Blu-ray or getting them on iTunes or what have you. So
Or some people go to the library. They get them from the library. Blu-ray. They got Blu-ray over there.
I'm doing my best to undercut the budgets for the libraries, but somehow the money's still getting through. I don't understand it. And then I'm working on the post office, and I'm going to rip out mailboxes during a very crucial lockdown time.
That's true. That happened.
This is from the library. This is
Wow.
so you can get your copy from the library if you like.
That's right. The library loves it.
They love it. They love you guys there. They got Dave Scheit books over there too.
Skoke plans on never giving it back, paying the nickel a day until he buys the book outright.
There you go.
Kid
Yeah, you can
Slapshot.
pre-order that. That's right.
Oh,
Okay,
I did a
yeah.
cover for them too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Who is Anthony
cool.
behind Kid Slapshot, or is that another creator?
That's Troy. His name is.
Troy. Yeah.
Good name.
I'm gonna go get my book. Hold on. Let me
Okay.
see if this works.
Do it.
Yeah, it
Actually,
does.
I'm going to walk away and grab a drink because I'm dry. Very
know,
dry.
I was thinking about hot
We're
air
all
balloons.
leaving now.
Goodbye, guys. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Good night,
IAP
everybody.
Podcast.
Run, Luke, run.
Scoot
I
did a
got my water
commission.
here.
Drink up. Drink up, everyone. Now's the
Where's your
time.
jug? Skoke?
Oh, you mean this one?
Thank you. Thank you.
It's in the commission he's about to talk about.
Yeah, Scoot did a commission for, was it John Freeman? Is that correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
John Freeman requested a commission, an Oh Yeah podcast specific commission from Scoot. And it's amazing. It's terrific. It's tremendous.
Did you
And,
get it? And did you put it in the I Like Pink?
Scoot
Years
did,
ago,
I think,
yeah,
at
years
one
ago
point.
it was posted in there. It was where Johnny was in the glove word balloon. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
Smoke was up there
I
drinking
love
his
that
jug.
And you
That's
see
so nice.
Franco's head at the bottom.
Forehead.
Yes, it's so good. It's so, and
Yeah.
it's like he tried to pack as many of the jokes from the pod in there. And
Artie's
it's,
full of paint. He's got
great.
paint all over his clothes.
and
What is
Harold's,
this?
Yeah.
He's
Like
not-
years ago, I did a commission for someone that I think it was John Freeman that likes the Oh Yeah podcast.
Oh yeah.
And Johnny was in like a hot air balloon that was like a big
Oh, is he?
glove, and it was the bucket was
that's
a Harold's bucket,
Yeah, I
and
remember
Art was
that.
standing on there trying to get the hot sauce, and
Mhm.
Art had paint all over his clothes because he had been painting,
I
and
do
Franco's
remember.
forehead was in the bottom, like you could just see his forehead real big, and Skoke was up there in the hot air balloon with Johnny drinking it out of his jug.
It's very funny.
Look what I
Art,
got.
Art, what do you got?
Oh, there it is.
Big Alien Moon Crush.
Hey!
I just got 100 copies today. They came to
Alien
my house.
love.
Look at it. It's cool.
What can you
It's
tell
nice
us?
and bright.
Yeah,
Pretty
what
I
can
can
you
tell
tell
you
us?
it's a
Alien
Romeo
love
and it's a tale of Romeo and Juliet, well, in space with these aliens.
Oh, I like
And
it.
it's
Mix
no
and Tara.
dialogue, right? Is that the
No
one?
dialogue. It's a
Oh,
wordless
really?
book. Here's the back cover. They're in love. There's violence and sexual things.
Wow.
in here.
Sexual.
Yeah, but nobody knows it until you read it. Like, hey, wait a minute. But my son went back and
I
says,
love him.
Dad, here's where they did that thing you talked about. Yeah, but this
I
is
know
cool.
we come from two worlds, but we could merge.
Yeah. It's my my view of war and love. You're
beautiful.
gonna see it. Yeah, and I'm putting them on my website probably tonight for sale. I have 100 copies. I'm going to be uploading a few things tonight for sale for over the weekend. If you don't make it tonight, it'll be available. And I know D. Brad has been asking, so I finally have them. I'm really happy.
How many pages?
It's an 80-page.
Wow.
Graphic novel,
80 page giant. You
Yeah,
got
and it's $10 on the back. Yeah,
Will you have it at Aya or at not Aya Comics, but at C2E2 in August?
yeah, I'll have
Oh,
it. Yeah.
That's when
From
I'll
now
get
on,
it.
I'll have it until they're gone. But I've been bugging Action Lab to send me some, so they finally did. Like, hey man, I need a lot of books.
I'm ready to do the voice for
Yeah.
the trailer. Don't miss Big Alien
Yeah.
Moon Crush
So it's pretty
coming
fun.
to your theater.
The only one who read it so far in my house is my son Gordon read it, and he looked at it right away. I unpacked the boxes and he grabbed it, sat down, and read the whole thing, or looked at it. Yeah, he dug it. He's
Alright,
like,
there
it
you
was
go.
real cool. There was a moment where if you want to cry, it's appropriate. If you don't, I understand. But there's a moment that I'm hoping that when my wife reads it, she's gonna cry and TT a little bit. We call it TT and TT, you know, TT a little bit. But this is cool, man. I'm so excited about this because I forgot how it went. And look at it, and inside there's an Comics logo right there. Beep. I wish I put it over here, but
Block the camera.
yeah, it's kind of cool.
I was gonna say no. Look at Artie's art, please. But
Do
I
what
just
now?
like when we come back to all 5 of us. Look how Scoot blocked the camera. Correct me.
I like that. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, there you go.
That reminds me, I got a copy around here somewhere, but Peach and the Isle of Monsters finally came out as well.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I'll get a copy.
Well,
Hold
why
on,
don't you
I
get
got
mad
one.
at him,
Do it.
Frank or
Okay.
Johnny? You
I didn't
get
know
mad
that
at
came
Franco.
out.
What's that?
Why don't you get mad at Franco? That book took forever to come out.
Well, because he hasn't been telling me about it for 2
Yeah, he has.
years. I don't remember hearing it. I don't know. Again, hey, Scoot, it worked. Because I can't, hey, don't forget about Agents of Slam. And it's like, yeah, I know. All right.
We're aware.
Well, in fact, and I'm like, and I would tell him every time, like, okay, let's do Word Balloon. Well, it's not out till April of 2022. I'm
Look
like,
at this
all right,
splash page.
call me back in 2 years. There it is. I like
Yeah,
it.
look at that splash page.
I like that a lot.
Aliens
I'm
at war,
really,
man. It's gonna
no,
make you.
I like it. What are the
go on
names of the
emotion.
alien races?
I don't know.
Oh,
There's
because
no-
again, no
yeah.
dialogue, no narration either. Just
No,
images.
just sound effects.
Just
The
sound-
characters are Nix, the little guy's Nix, and Vera. Verma
Vera.
Farmiga. Vera, that's
Vera.
what she's named after, Vera Farmiga.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, you see, but she should have been Verma.
Yeah, it's Vera. Yeah, I thought about
All right.
that.
But I
Verma,
like that an
because
alien.
I like. Okay, I'm writing this other story right now that came from. I'm going to tease it, but I can't officially announce it. But there's going to be a little teaser comic in late June that I just finished up. Scoot and Franco know, shared it, friends.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I can't really say yet
Awesome.
publicly. But it's something that I did. If anyone knows me, you're gonna figure it out. It's something from that I've done in my past, where I'm bringing it back again. I can't tell you who the publisher is yet. I don't know why, but a lot of my names I chose when I was younger, I look them up now on Urban Dictionary, and everything means something. So I had to change a whole bunch of names, and I was looking it up like I'm writing this thing, and I look up a name like, oh my god, I can't say that means something that's short and stubby, but I can't say that. And then there's another thing. Ooh, that's an act of this. I can't say that. So I had to change a lot of my names, which was very strange, and I don't know how I tapped in. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hearing things when I was younger, and I'm like, oh, that sounds funny. I'll make the character that name. But as I was trying to change the names that I currently had that meant something else, I would change the name again, and I'd look it up again, and it was another slang word. Like I would create words that already existed in slang. So until I got to the point where I just had to make up stuff that was not a word at all, and it's very difficult to one of the characters' names is I changed it to Jorbs, and like Steve Jobs, but Jorbs. And I looked up the word Jorbs, and that is slang for job. Like, hey, what's your new job? Like, oh, I work at the gas station. That's my new job. So that's okay. But like, I had to go through a whole bunch of weird research to change these names because in my world, there's no human beings, and everything in the world is everything that I create in the world has to be a made-up name. So it's very difficult to do if you create a word like, oh, I love this word, then you look it up and it means something. Like, how does that happen? Like, and everything means penis. Everything does. like, why is man, just don't search images, search Urban Dictionary. So it's very strange. And, but I have all the names all figured out now.
That's,
And,
that's the title of my first reader book. Everything means penis.
what?
I like that Johnny went all the way to the bathroom to
Yeah.
say that line.
Yeah.
He's shaking it.
You can't give openings like that. I do this all the time. Whatever.
Oh, there he is. He's back
Whatever's the euphemism, I immediately say something like that. What was the bakery one that I did the other day? I can't remember. Yeah, I can't help
Like,
it.
it's very strange.
Or today, we were
Make
talking
up.
on the chat about South Pacific, and and we were getting silly about hair, and somebody said penis, and I said that's my favorite show tune from South Pacific. I'm gonna wash that penis right out of my hair.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
Great thought.
Oh man.
Beautiful
But, yeah.
song. It's Rodgers and Hammerstein at their best. Everybody loves it. People have told me it's the best part of the musical.
I love
Yeah.
it.
I
Sorry, I
prefer
had to-
music, man.
I had to go find it.
There it is.
It was
Oh, there it is. I
buried.
see it.
It was buried in
Yeah,
stuff. So it was
There it is.
Oh, cool.
Peach and the Allen Monsters. Agnes Garbowska did some stuff in here.
Agnes.
And,
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't even know this was coming out. It just showed up.
Real.
And then
See?
I did
Oh,
I
look.
did a pin up in the back, and then
Yeah, that looks cool.
someone else, some McMurmur,
Oh yeah,
Come on.
look at that.
McMurmur. He
There she
Yeah.
is.
did a pin up in there too.
That's cool.
Mac
That looks
Mahone.
good. How many
Mac
pages
Mahone.
is it?
It's an 80 pager, 80 pager
Oh, wow,
as well.
Nice. Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, man. They're like, well got stuff
No, it's a good value. Artie, seriously, 80
You know what I
pages.
was thinking about is
Yeah. for $10.
Yeah, man.
between Art, Scoot, and myself during the pandemic, we must have made like 700 comic books. I think.
Yeah, we
And
made a
they're all
lot.
they're all coming out over the next year or two. Because then
Yeah.
I got Dead Man coming out, and I got
Mhm.
Fate in the Moon coming out after that.
Mhm.
Whole bunch of stuff happening. Whole bunch. And there's more in the hopper.
There's always more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sending Spider Monkey to the printer probably next Monday, June 1st. I'm gonna send
Like
it.
it. Like it.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Got a
No,
lot
this
going
is-
on.
It's the best part of I mean, really, it's the biggest positive I think that came out of COVID was all of you guys and a lot of other word balloon guests and stuff. Yeah, it's like, all right, I got the time. Let me crank out some stuff.
Yeah, no one. I didn't have to leave the house no one left the house for 2 years, 3 years, and just hunker. You hunker down. You hunker. You never see that word without the word down following it.
Yeah, you don't hunker up. You're
Hunker,
right.
no,
Yeah.
you don't hunker
One
sideways.
direction and it's down for hunker.
Hunker medium, middle.
The five
no,
of
you
us are
hunker
not going to
down.
make a comic because we make a podcast together, so we're not going to do a comic together.
But
Yeah.
we do all your comics.
Yeah.
I'd be dead weight.
Maybe for my next book, or no, the next Oh Yeah Comics book art, we'll have Skoke and Johnny do a
Wrestling.
pin-up.
Oh.
Yeah, we can do it. And
Hey, I still have my story idea that I want to do of a
know.
real estate agent selling
Yeah.
a Wayne Manor-like secret headquarters plus mansion, and have it be populated by the Yeah kids.
Actually,
I like
you know
that.
what? Back probably almost 10 years ago now, when I only listened to the Oh Yeah podcast and I started hanging out with the guys, I said we should do a comic about the Oh Yeah podcast where all these guys are on little adventures. And I think Franco and I started sketching up some stuff one night a long time ago. Remember that,
Hmm.
Franco?
Galaxy Far
No,
Far
I have
Away.
bad memory about these things, but I believe
I
you.
know if Artie were to draw me, my hair would be falling off my head,
Mhm.
and
It's
I'd
not
be
connected.
and I'd be farting,
I fell on a lizard with a backpack.
Is
Yeah.
there any Oh Yeah podcast merchandise floating around out there?
Yeah,
Maybe.
there's comic books.
I have a T-shirt, I think, on
I
the
mean-
thread list. I think.
Do we
Oh,
still have
God,
the?
I mean specifically for the pod.
No, there's
oh
not.
no, no.
No.
I
Uh,
took
do
down
we-
the T-shirts that I had sayings on them, like famous cartoonist says different things, but everyone wanted them and no one bought them, so I took them down. So you guys get nothing now.
How
But
about
I'm gonna put my Yagams one back up there.
I,
You guys-
I bet a T-shirt that said the Oh Yeah podcast with a black glove right in the middle of it with some.
Ooh, yeah. Well,
Actually,
everyone said welcome to all your
I'm so
podcasts.
glad you said that because it reminds me of our text conversation last night.
Oh yeah.
But I gotta
Love
find it because seriously, I was dying, and Scoot and I are like, "There's no way in hell you would make this shirt for a convention," but to just put in a word balloon with perfect comic font, this place sucks. And he sold it as
Yeah, just walk around a
it's
convention.
a T-shirt. Hey,
Hey, you.
Can you
And then-
imagine Johnny wearing that at a convention? He's walking
this
around.
place sucks.
Just a few days ago, my girl asked me, driving around with her, and she goes, "Daddy, can you tell me that story about when you met Darth Vader and R2D2?" I'm like, "Sure." So I said, me and Franco were setting up New York Comic Con, and there must have been a circus there the week before, because it still smelled like animal. It smelled in that place. Incoming Darth Vader and R2,
It was at the New York Coliseum, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Madison Square Garden. It was Madison Square Garden. But they're
No, it was
walking
at
in.
the it was at the
All right, it was
Coliseum,
there.
I think. Yeah.
Okay, and then Vader and R2 come in. Vader, real tall with his cane. Little R2, 2 foot tall. They're all coming, walking in. Vader comes walking in and goes, "It stinks in here." And little R2 says, "Yeah, it smells like shit." That was it. My daughter said, "I love that story, Dad." Yeah.
Smells like
that is-
beta fodder.
Hey, no offense, Mario. We don't give a shit. I don't know how to break it to you as far as the Mavs. God bless
I
you
do.
for loving your team.
What's Marvin saying?
I love it. I love it when the Mavs win.
What's Marvin saying?
No,
Mario?
Mario's
John-
a big Dallas Mavericks
Mario.
fan, and he's
Johnny's
like,
not.
halftime, the Mavs are. It's like we don't care. I don't know how to
Are they in
break
the
it.
playoffs now?
Exactly.
Yeah, they're in the
And
Western
Artie,
Conference Finals. Yeah.
Your
Artie?
comment exactly.
I've been watching some. I've been following the Bucks and the Grizzlies. I like those two.
They're both
I
out
think
of
the
it.
Bucks are
Already.
Hey.
gone, right?
The Greek guy. Good lord, I love that guy, Giannis. We share his name.
Yeah. I only
Those guys
see it
are all.
because
Those guys are all eliminated now. Though.
are they?
Yeah,
I
the
only
only
see
ones
it
left.
when I
I didn't
go
even
out.
know. All right.
The Mavericks are playing the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals,
Oh.
and the Miami Heat are playing the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I love it when the
I-
Mavs win.
I only see it 'cause I go to-
Trader is keeping us up to date. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Mike Fratello.
When I go to Village Inn, I watch the sports balls. So, but I see them so Mondays and
This is
Tuesdays.
this is why I love our fans right here.
Yeah.
This is why.
Anthony
Ping pong
Latch with
update.
the ping pong update. Forrest Gump is winning 12-0. Thank you.
Bucks lost at 7.
See, there
Kevin
you go.
Kleinhans. There he is. I know I'm
Greek
pronouncing it wrong, but I'm continuing because I forgot. How
Just
to
go
say
with
it
the
that way.
McMahon
McMahon.
Yeah.
McMahon pronunciation.
I love that Giannis, when he speaks like a 65-year-old Greek man. And they had that great when he won the championship last year. They had video of him the next day going to Chick-fil-A, and he's like, "Okay, I want," and the drive-through, and he's like, "Okay, I want 50 pieces spicy chicken. I want a large Sprite, half lemonade," and it was awesome because literally it's like listen to my grandfather place an order. It was fantastic.
And I need a chicken sandwich for my half-made son. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do.
He likes
He
it
said,
spicy.
I want the peach milkshake, and I want for my son a spicy chicken sandwich,
He's
and for
half-made.
my half-made wife, my mistress, yeah, I could do.
Yeah.
I can tell you, we've been
Apple fries.
I've been talking to Harold from Harold's Chicken. Terrific guy. We've been talking.
Excellent.
I'd love to hear an update from Art. How you doing? What's going on with the Harolds?
We love
I
the
haven't
red
been to
soda,
Harold's,
we love
man.
The white bread. Go
I
ahead.
went there twice and they were closed. Website says midnight. I'm there at 10:30. They told me we're closed. And I said, "Why is your door unlocked? You should lock your door."
No, I have had that problem. I'll have late night dinner, and it's like, oh no, we're open until midnight. And it's like, well, clearly not.
It's not dinner. Right. The door's
Exactly,
open.
it's not
Lock
dinner.
the door. Just that you're closed. Lock the door.
Yeah, the restaurants around here have been closing at like 7 p.m. lately.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah,
Well,
he
again,
cooks
that's
too.
the
He's
stick.
more of a carpenter.
in Rossford.
Have you guys heard of this? I think he's from Finland. Stand-up
Okay.
comedian. His name is Ismo or Ismo.
I believe
Excellent.
so. Go on.
I saw him the other day. It was pretty funny. He goes, "I like words. Learning words. I have learned a brand new word that means you have now filled up my coffee enough. My coffee cup enough. And the word is yatatatata."
I like that.
So he's very funny. I was watching his stand-up. So
I
if you,
haven't
if
seen
you haven't
it.
seen
I
him,
like it.
yeah.
I just
Oh, you've
saw
seen
the
him, Johnny?
picture. Yeah, I've seen his. Yeah, my nephew's in-laws turned me on to Ismo, and they're like, "No, he's really funny," and I'm like, "Actually, you're right. He is really funny.
Yeah.
He looks like a Gordon Fisherman. He's got like no stash, but he's got like kind of a salty sailor beard,
Mhm.
and yeah, you could put a slicker on him and a hat, and it's like, yeah, there's your Gordon.
Yeah, he looks. Yeah.
And of course, that makes sense for Finland. So skipping around the fjords,
Comes from a port on the Western Bay.
Yumpin Yemeni.
Brandy. Brandy.
Hey guys,
With ships.
I acquired a few items I'd like to show you. May I?
I was hoping that would happen today.
Yeah.
All right.
It's been so long. You have new items.
Everybody's asking, what has he bought lately?
I can
see
tell
a
you.
lovely Sherlock Holmes old time radio album cover with the great Basil Rathbone. I just talked to him yesterday. Wonderful Sherlock Holmes actor. Go ahead. Sorry.
I haven't actually seen any of his Sherlock Holmes. I'll have to make it a point to do that.
Oh, he was great.
Sherlock Holmes.
Terrific.
His ugly
This is
brother.
Jim
Nice.
Neighbors
Nice.
sings.
With all your heart.
It's even in Spanish. It might be in Spanish. I haven't listened to it yet.
Cuando caliente este sol.
Oh, that's awesome. So how does that? When is the heat of the sun? What is it?
Yeah,
Cuando,
when the sun is hot.
Oh, when the sun is hot. Thank you.
Cuando.
Thank you.
Cuando.
Dime cuando tu verai. Dime
It's gonna be
cuando,
good.
cuando.
I
Hey,
think
Pyle, why don't you sing for the troops? All right, Sergeant, here I go.
I should say for the listeners, it's called. It's an album, a record album called Jim Neighbors Sings. Love Me With All Your Heart. And then
That's right. When I'm not
We're
in
gonna-
Hawaii in the pineapple patch, I like to sing.
We're going to
Okay,
play
go
some
ahead,
of that
Bob.
over the closing credits today.
we've got another
Wow!
Jim Neighbors
Lots
album.
of Jim Neighbors.
It's called
Discography comes out.
Jim Neighbors by request. I don't know who's requesting any of these.
My Aunt Barbara.
Yeah, I
From these.
got a request. Gomer, shut the hell up. How about that?
Hey, Scoot, you gotta really tell that library to update their stuff, man.
Their discography. I love. Scope, do you watch? I don't know if you have access to the Decades channel, but the
I
Ed
do.
Sullivan.
I
It's
sure
pronounced
do.
it's pronounced
Ladies and
decades.
gentlemen, please put your hands together for Jim Neighbors. Let's hear it for him. You'll never find another love like mine.
And finally,
Hey, I just got a new bass jacket.
Beige.
And a
that's how you can
turtleneck.
tell. That's how you can tell he's getting
Turtleneck.
older.
Okay, Jim, for this
Golly.
cover, we're gonna want you to smile. No, not that much, just a little bit.
Kind of. Yeah,
It looks like he's.
Go ahead, Artie.
It looks like he's ready for Artist Alley. That's what it looks like.
I was
This
gonna
is,
say, it looks like he just got hit with a foul ball, and he's still
Yeah.
kind of dazed.
Oh.
All right, hold still, Jim. What?
He's trying to do the Superman spit curl, but his hair's not curly.
It
Oh,
hit him in
he's,
the,
he's a handsome
the
man.
baseball hit
I
him in
can
the
break
thigh, and
Clark
he's like,
Kent.
yeah.
Hi, Lois. You know, I'm from the South, so I'd be perfect as Clark Kent. Shazam!
he
No
would be
wrong
a good.
character.
He'd be a good Clark Kent. This is Jim Neighbors. Kiss me goodbye.
Why don't you name
The-
some of the songs, Scoot? Because I bet, or Skoke, I'm sorry. Because yeah, I'm sure we would recognize some, especially me being older.
Well, we got the title track, "Kiss Me Goodbye." Love, love is blue.
Oh
Oh
wait,
yeah.
blue, blue, my love is blue. Go on.
Very good. The I must have been out of my mind.
Oh, I don't remember how to do that. That's a country song.
Is
Or
it?
no, Brooke Benton. Someday, some way, you'll be mine. Yeah,
We got-
I believe that's that song. But go on.
Yeah.
We got. I think this is a Bruce Springsteen song, "Born Free."
No,
Is that right? No.
that's from the Lion movie. Born free,
Born free?
as free as the wind blows.
It says here, yeah, from Born Free, and "Try to Remember" from the Fantastics. I don't know what that is.
Try to remember that kind of September.
"Tomorrow Never Comes." Is that a James Bond song? I don't know.
Tomorrow, yeah,
The James
tomorrow
Bond
never
movie.
dies. Exactly. I did the James Bond theme. Tomorrow never dies.
Wolf
That'd be a
Eater.
good James Bond movie. "Tomorrow Never Comes."
That's the
Hey,
porn
Wolfie.
version of Tomorrow Never Dies. Tomorrow Never Comes. That's right. I saw that movie with Stormy Daniels. We had a great time in the room. I'll tell you that. Believe me.
Chris paused a lot. I remember.
What about the other albums? Seriously, you'll forgive me, but I love these. I love these terrible '60s middle of the road songs that Perry Como and Frank Sinatra Jr. and so many bored us with in the '60s and '70s. Go on, please.
Some of them are they look like musical songs. We got "Love Me with All Your Heart." You're gonna hear from me from "Inside Daisy Clover."
Oh, that's right.
From inside of her.
Hey, that's the movie with Robert Redford and Natalie Wood.
Is it? I'm not familiar with that. "You Don't Know Me." That's another one.
Oh yeah, that's
You
Don't
Don't
Tell
Know
Me,
Me.
or no, You Don't Know Me, not You Don't Own Me. I was thinking of the Leslie Gore song. Don't tell me what to say.
like-
Don't tell me what to do.
"Somewhere My Love."
Somewhere, that's the Godfather theme. Somewhere, my love.
Is it really?
And no, that Speak Softly, Love. But it's from some movie. Dr. Zhivago.
That is
Oh,
correct.
That's the one.
That is correct.
I like
"Rockabye."
Dr. Zhivago. What now?
Rockabye Your Baby with a Dixie melody. That's all one song.
Jerry Lewis also did a
Rockabye
version of that
Your
song that
Baby.
became a charted hit.
Did
But
he?
that's like an old Al Jolson, Rockabye Your Baby with a Dixie melody.
Yeah,
Sing
Jerry
that.
Lewis has a couple albums.
Johnny, how do you
Commercial in
remember all
Chicago.
this crap?
Because I was a DJ
He's
in
old.
crappy radio for years, including the
That's true.
infamous Who's Zooming Who.
But like, how much room is in your head? Because like between Star Wars and Star Trek and all these songs, like how do you fit all this information in there?
Because this is what I was training my whole life for, was to be on radio or podcasting.
Oh,
Filling my head with
mask back
useless
on.
information.
Put the mask back on, Johnny. Put the mask back on.
Yeah, exactly. Filling my head with useless information that wasn't going to help me in any other job.
Would you like to hear about the 5th episode of Star Wars?
No, you're a bank teller. Get back to work, you idiot. Try to remember. Go on.
We need an Oh Yeah Podcast CPAP machine, I think.
We do.
Jim Neighbors sings. Why?
Put that in the
It's the question that's open.
in the threadless
Would you
store.
check out
Yeah.
The person who had the story about
You should
Jim Neighbors being next to Welly Pete. That's a great story. We need to include that in the podcast.
You should design an Oh Yeah Podcast logo that's the action cap, but with like a microphone next to him or something.
Boy, that'd be cool.
The only
Just
thing
for the
that's
podcast.
the only thing that's missing from this would be like a banjo playing in the background. I love this, and no offense, Kevin, because I love this story. Jim Neighbors peed next to me in the Whitefish, Montana Mall while I was doing a moving job in the early morning. We were the only ones in the bathroom with multiple stalls, and he pulled up right next to me. Great man, was very interesting. Ah, see, you've got a penis that curves.
Well, God,
Fascinating.
it curves to the left. What you looking at?
Kids,
Hey, want to compare penises while we're next to each other?
this water's cold.
You know,
And-
the way
and
the
you too.
curvature is, if you pee from where you're standing, we can both pee in my urinal.
Want to have a sword fight? I can't concentrate, Gomer. Jesus.
Yeah, this water's cold.
God, look at that penis.
Hey
And
guys,
you too.
could you keep it down? I'm trying to defecate over here in the
Hey, Alan Aldridge taking a shit while we're having a sword fight.
What did he wash his hands? That's the thing. I know a few
Was that right?
celebrities.
Was that your Alan
And
Aldridge?
Jamie
I know,
Farr's
Artie.
blow drying
Yeah.
his arm hair.
Artie's told me many stories, and I won't mention their names, but I know which guys not to shake hands
Artist
with.
Alley.
Comic Con. Yeah.
He said, I admire your work, sir. And then don't shake the
I
hand.
did listen to it from the
Maybe
1920s
fist
with
bump.
that last scene. Now I don't remember my Rudy Valley songs.
He can't remember his password to his bank account now.
Well, that's what I was going to say, Franco. I can't balance my checkbook, but I'm happy to tell you the discography, song by Jim Neighbors. Yes. Try to remember.
Neighbors.
Boy.
Golly, that's some penis. I didn't expect to see that here at the Whitefish Ball in Montana. I'll tell you what.
I think Jim Neighbor's neighbor just called him Jim. Or they call Jim Neighbor to neighbor.
I'd like
Neighbor.
He called him Big Head Jim.
My neighbor.
Big head Jim. Well, golly, it bends to the left, and it's got a big head on it too.
Big head Jim Neighbors. Got a big head
Hey,
Jim.
did one of us have asparagus before we walked in? I can smell it.
Big head Jim.
Well, it's appropriate
Sorry,
that
but
we're in the Whitefish Mall because that thing looks white.
Love thy neighbor, cause I'm moving in. Right.
I saw that dialogue box. I'm like, wait a minute. Let's rewind back to the guy tells the Jim Neighbors story. There's a lot of gold in that quote right there. It was plain as day. Me and him, right there at the stall.
Oh, golly. Didn't he say
There
that?
were
Or he
6
should
stalls
say
in the
it?
bathroom.
He's got the greatest voice. And seriously, I know it's easy and shame on us. But no, honestly, this is done with love. I watch Gomer. I love that show. Pile.
He should have made
Gomer.
Captain Marvel, you know? It would be cool to see him as Captain Marvel.
What's
Shazam.
our favorite number one show right now at this moment?
Better Call Saul.
I'm watching the.
Better Call Saul, man. I can't wait. I come home Monday nights from the store and I watch it. 3 in the morning, I'm watching this thing.
Final season, right?
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
I think next week's the final episode of the first half, and then they're gonna do like 3 months off.
Yeah,
and then
AMC does that all the
continue.
time. They split the
Yeah.
season. Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
it's so good. I don't know
What else?
I don't think nothing's better in life than that.
Yeah,
Breaking
Better
Bad
Call
universe.
Saul's pretty good. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna say, just to be different, The Righteous Gemstones on HBO is
Oh,
really
yeah.
funny. It's really good.
Very funny.
Very good. Very good.
It's very good.
John Goodman.
What's Squinty Eye?
Everybody in that movie. The guy from what was it called? Mike and Andy Need Wedding Dates or whatever. I forget his
Yeah.
name. He was in Workaholics. I love that guy.
Yeah, they're all good.
I haven't had a whole lot of time to watch anything because I've been reading Agents of Slam. Now available at your library or wherever you find books.
It does take a while to get
I
through.
sneezed out the
Yeah,
release
it's
date. When is that book come out?
That $2 check that Scoot wrote to you is going a long way tonight.
50
For
cents
that
an hour.
plug.
Yeah.
I'm gonna plug our other podcasting and say Strange New Worlds. Star Trek Strange New Worlds is my current favorite. 2 episodes in. I haven't watched the third one yet. Really liking it. Yeah.
And I'll be different like Scoot in terms of, and believe it or not, guilty pleasure. It just wrapped up the Julia HBO Max television show that is on.
I like
I
that
don't
one
know if
too.
it's on regular Cinemax, but it's on HBO Max, the streaming thing. And it was 8 episodes of pure joy. And really, as much as other Star Trek shows were disappointing me, it would drop on Thursday as well. So I'd get the bad taste out of my mouth from Picard and
Oh.
Discovery, much like Jim Neighbors at the urinal. And I would instead watch Julia and be delighted. It is such a fun show and
Is that
funny.
Julia Childs?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, cool.
It's a good show. I saw the first 5 episodes. I have to see the other 3.
It's so
Honorable mention goes to Winning Time for me too.
Me too. And that's my buddy Rodney Barnes, one of the co-executive producers. Great show.
Is that the basketball, the Lakers program?
Yeah, John C. Riley. Yeah.
Yeah, really, really good. Whole cast is fantastic. Sally Field as Dr. Buss's mom. Holy shit. Unbelievable. I saw it. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up.
Cosby.
Let's talk like Cosby.
I got it from
talk
got it from the
Lisa.
library.
That's why we Sorry, both of
Joke
you.
is awesome.
It's an interesting thing. I'm watching it. I'm not completely done with it, but it's weird because I'm watching it and they're showing highlights from Cosby's career, like his stand-up, and they're talking about his rise to fame, and then cut to one of his victims explaining what he did. And so many of those stories are exactly the same. It's just over and over and over.
His stories
shocking.
in his stand-up.
No.
Oh, okay.
His victims, the stories they're telling about what he did to them, and it's just like you're reminded about how hard it is to wrap your mind around this, because this guy who growing up for me, I would listen to a lot and watch the show, picture pages, and
Buy the
Fat
pudding
Albert,
cup.
all this stuff.
He did a lot of Urban Dictionary things to them.
Well, you cannot deny his importance in the history of comedy. You can't. But at the same time, a horrible person that did disgusting things, and that's what makes the documentary fascinating. W. Kamau Bell made it and is the narrator of it principally. But my God, not only the victims, but cast members from the Cosby Show, and just really eye-opening. I mean, beyond the obvious that we saw in the tabloids for months, you learn a hell of a lot more, and it really is sad and creepy. But if you can stomach it, it's fascinating. And I would say the same thing about the A&E docu-series about Playboy and the Playmates and the Mansion and what a scumbag Hefner was. And again, all I knew was, the front, and I knew he was a sexual liberation guy, and that's totally fine, especially in that 60s and 70s period, until you hear it from the women's point of view and how harassed they were. It's sick. And again, it's like, you can't deny Hefner's importance to the culture when he was making Playboy and the Playboy brand. That said, again, it was built on this terrible behavior that was just reprehensible. And again, it's like, all right, good with the bad. And I mean, again, your mileage may vary. I still think it's a worthwhile story to pursue, just like Al Cap, the Little Abner creator, and what an asshole he was and harasser of women, and actually on record tried to rape like 4 college kids and stuff. Sick stuff, man. But again,
That's the word, sick, and that's why I'm actually having trouble finishing this documentary, this Cosby thing. It's
Don't
it's
do
in
it.
4 parts. It's 4 hours long. Don't
I
do
need to
it.
watch it. I couldn't watch that Michael Jackson one. That was terrible.
It's hard.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I started it like I can't do it.
you hear
Yeah, I
these
watched
these
it.
stories. It's so
don't need that
bad.
in your
It's
mind,
so
though.
bad.
I just want to know. I hope Cosby didn't mess with Chalisa. Remember the actress who played Chalisa? I liked her on that Cosby show. The spinoff with college, with Denise went to college, and it was Chalisa.
A different world. Different
I
world.
didn't mess with her. Yeah, different world. That was
I'll
a
look
joke.
it up.
Didn't land. Sorry.
Oh, I just
Yeah,
Please
Art, I'm
continue.
with you. I'm with you on the Michael Jackson one. I watched
Yeah,
that,
man.
and now every time I hear his songs come on the radio, I'm like, oh, like I think about that documentary.
And what's Shimon mean? Shimon. It's a Shimon.
He gave that one kid a wedding ring.
Did he?
Yeah,
Oh, did he accept it? That's the thing.
yeah, he did. He has it,
Oh, see,
but he was
that's-
like 12.
that's giving false. No, I don't know. I don't want to get into that. I'm trying to make stupid jokes, but it's not working.
yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
I'm
I
not
don't.
serious.
Honestly, Artie, I'm looking for Chalisa. I don't see a Chalisa.
Chalisa, yeah, she married the guy who he was the army sergeant or something, the drill sergeant on the show.
Was that okay? Because no, again, I'm thinking
Because
of
it
Cosby.
seems like she was the older college student.
Dawn
I guess
Dawn
she-
Wells? No. Is that the one?
No,
Yeah,
it was
that's
yeah, that show with Marissa Tomei was on there for the first season, and then the girl who was on there who would do the voices for cartoons.
Oh, Jasmine Guy.
Yeah, no, not it wasn't her, but she was on there. But Chalisa was.
I don't know.
She was. I always liked her on there.
I think you're getting
And
the
she
name wrong.
she
But,
married. No, that was her name on the show.
Well, again,
And
I'm looking
she
up a
married
Karen.
the army drill sergeant guy. So by the end of the show, they were married and stuff. But I forget. I didn't watch
Now
it too much.
now I got to find out this person's name. 'cause I-
Chalisa. Yeah. Hope
Let me
you,
say the
hope you
actor,
didn't
though, when I-
mess with her because I liked her. She was older and she seemed strong.
All right.
She could rough them up.
Can't
And
do
fall
those
for it.
Cosby impressions anymore.
You see,
Now you see, there's a documentary. You see,
you could do
about
young
me
Cosby
being a
before he got
scumbag.
caught. You could do
Don't
young Cosby
believe
before
what
he
you
got caught.
see.
You could,
I can't see, so take it from me. Isn't he blind now?
Is he
He's
blind?
he is his
He's free
vision
now.
is very bad. Yes.
Been hanging out with OJ in Mexico now or something?
He's free.
Him,
He's free.
OJ, and
Trump let him out.
he goes.
I let him out. I let out Cosby.
You know what I really liked? Like I thought was funny. I didn't like it. I just thought it was funny. See, I look at everything and think everything's funny. Joker, I look at it, but what I really thought was funny was after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, all the jokes were coming out comparing him to OJ and Cosby. I'm like, I don't get it. All of a sudden, you're with these two guys. We can see. I'll edit that out. That makes no sense.
No, it's good.
Yeah, we'll
No, I
fix
got
it.
no problem with it. I just
Yeah.
again, it's
But I-
like, hey, here's
but
an idea. You know, if he
Yeah.
had done that backstage, if you're going to bring up the slap,
Yeah.
nobody would have blinked. But to do it on stage in front of a worldwide audience, you're a dick.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, you're a dick.
Did
And
you hear what
Well,
he
if
said?
if you look
when he
at
was
some
up there?
if you look at the video, he didn't respond at all to that until he looked at his wife.
Yeah, it's
Um,
right. So
and-
get him.
Right.
And yeah, so it
There's a
was
cartoon of that.
strange, man. It was strange.
There's a real cool cartoon of that. Someone animated the stuff we didn't see, and it's really funny. But you know what the coolest part about that slap
Tell me.
is right when it happened, that Monday or that next day, I got the Abraham Lincoln Fly Smackers, so we were able to promote
You were
the
able to
slap
weave
with
that
the
into
smackers.
the story.
I put them on my website like the very next day. It was
You should have photoshopped it in Will Smith's hand, like he used it.
I know we wanted to do that, but like, all right, the joke's
It'll
already
be-
worn out. It's 4
It'll
days
be
old.
interesting to see how this impacts Will Smith's career.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think
Yeah,
I don't
he's
think
done.
it's going to be a forever thing, but I do think that he's going to have to. It'll be again. I have no idea
He has
because
to
it could
do a
be
movie.
like you
Yeah.
know, it could be everyone forgives him too. I have
He
no
has
idea.
to do a scene. He has to do a movie with Chris Rock, where Chris Rock slaps him in the movie or something like that, and they make fun of it, and then maybe all will be forgiven. It's kind of like when who's the guy who said something like when they went on Jay Leno. Somebody said, "Heard
Hugh
any
Grant.
good stories lately?"
Grant.
Was it Hugh Grant or wasn't it Pee Wee Herman too?
Yeah, he apologized too.
Yeah, they both said it, and they made
Sorry, I
a
was
joke.
wondering I watched in the movie theater.
Yeah, they sat down and said, "Heard any good jokes lately?" And then everyone laughed, and then that was it. He was forgiven.
Well, you know what
Yeah,
hasn't
but it
happened
took
yet
years
is,
to get to that point where people
Yeah.
were okay with it.
but you know what hasn't happened yet is Chris Rock hasn't come out and said anything,
Yeah.
and when he does, he's gonna be brutal because he
Good.
doesn't
Yeah.
hold back with some of his stuff, and I think he should be.
He deserves to fire back with guns blazing.
Yep.
I think I like Chris Rock. I think he's one of the more fearless comedians out there. I'll tell you, a lot of people like him. A lot of people are talking
But he
to me
got
about
paid to make fun of the celebrities. He got paid to make fun of the millionaires
That's
who are watching him.
You know, coming from sports, and I was still involved with sports when the ESPYs were brand new. Those tight-ass athlete jerks could not handle the tamest laughs. And, well, that's not funny. Oh, get over yourself. And the same goes for Will Smith and stupid Jada Pinkett. I don't care. I didn't know about the alopecia thing. Alopecia, big fan of my show.
Yeah.
Like The Apprentice a lot. Used to come on all the time. People don't realize that.
Yeah.
She's a wonderful woman, alopecia. I'm a big fan. No, but it's like, come on, man. And like Francis said, he's right. He didn't do dick until he saw his wife. Oh, I better do something. You gotta have like 10 seconds of sense and go, man, when I get backstage, I'm gonna kick Chris Rock's ass.
Yeah.
And it would have been a totally different story, and everyone would have been sympathetic to Will. He did a very bad thing on camera. A lot of people are still talking about it. Worse than Colin Kaepernick. I don't want to mix metaphors, but here we are.
I'll tell you
I like.
who's in.
Go ahead, Scoop.
Let's go.
No, you go, Art. Go.
I was gonna
please.
say, I just like how everything gets compared to other guys doing other things
Sure.
that are
Outrageous.
either more outrageous or less outrageous or illegal or
Well,
they go to jail for something. Like they get compared to all these. Everyone gets wrapped up in the same situation.
I was going to say Trump didn't like that because he took away some of my press. All the attention was away from me. So I didn't think
talking about me that day. It was very disappointing.
I'll tell you what. There's another scandal in the news. There's another one. They got that Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp. He's got and his wife Amber Heard. She's,
What's going on there?
very beautiful. She's very beautiful
Hey, did
person.
you hear what Amber Heard did in the bed?
I'll tell you what. She pooped the bed. I can tell you that. I can tell
She
you.
left the mud in the
She
bed.
left some
Got a
feces in the
mud
bed. It's a lot
That's
of
what he calls
feces.
her.
There was a lot of feces in that bed, but I can tell you, I wouldn't mind. If we go to a hotel room, I'm not going to be opposed to a little feces. Never opposed to feces. I can tell you.
Melania might have done it to me a few times this week.
Like, Melania, she can defecate like you wouldn't believe.
Melania. Her name is
Melania.
Amber Heard.
she could
What was
defecate
Melania's
like you
name?
wouldn't believe.
It was like because Jill Biden was on the cover of like a woman's magazine. No one asked me. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. Sorry, Yvonne. Sorry, whatever your name is. Academia.
Did that come up in the court? I haven't watched. I only see
Yeah,
the things.
it
I haven't
did.
watched. Did the poop come up?
Yeah.
I've been watching an embarrassingly a lot of amount of that trial. I've seen a lot, and that did come up, the feces in the bed. I tell you, nobody's going to come out of this alive. I don't care who wins. Nobody is really going to win. There's going to be
so
money
true.
exchanging hands, and
so
Every time
nobody's
I-
going to win.
Both
Every
of
time
them
I
are,
turn it
like,
on, I'm waiting
again,
for Spring
screwed.
Break lawyer to walk in.
That's right. That's what they need. That's what they need. Johnny Depp is like, well, Miss Heard,
That's
she
right.
was,
A lot of fighting going
when
on in
feces-
Spring Break Lawyer. Everybody's
Yeah.
talking about it.
yeah.
Let me tell you, it's a great MTV movie. Totally misunderstood. A lot of people loved it.
They should re-release that now because it's more relevant today than it was when it came out.
What are
They
you doing
should,
in
yeah.
there?
Can we get the re-release? Where's that at? I mean, let's get it off of VHS for one thing. I mean, at first, let's.
Yeah, it's got it. Come on, we need Spring Break Lawyer in 4K. Come on.
Somebody mentioned that earlier. Let's get the 4K 20th anniversary edition out
Trump-
there.
I
I'll do
think
the
Trump-
commentary. Let's
That's one of Trump's
some
favorite
commentary
movies,
by
isn't
our
it?
own Skokie Spidey.
let's do it. Come on. And here's the scene where the Spring Break lawyer breaks wind in the courtroom. Oh, here I come. Oh, it smells so bad. And here comes Judah Friedlander from the popular television show 30 Rock, and he
Was
just
it Adrian-
mentioned trouser beef.
Wasn't Adrian Barbeau the judge?
I believe so. I believe that is
All right.
that is
Just wanna make
correct.
sure.
Was there
I don't
ever
want
a
to
scene-
watch my VHS copy. I'm trying to keep it pristine for that day. So the the tape never stretches, and I miss every golden moment of that fine film.
Don't want to miss it. Art, what were you gonna say?
Was there ever a scene in there where they say, "Who's my little mud hen? Who is it?" Who's
They
my
should.
There she
Your
is.
Honor, Exhibit A. Can we keep Exhibit A downwind, please? Do
Yeah.
we really need? I'd like to show the scene again in slow motion when the half-made cleaning lady actually identified. Yeah, that's right. My mistress saw the poop in the bed. Nobody knows this. That's why you got the letter in the country.
That's how you have babies. That's what it is. He's half cooked,
on.
half made.
I'd like to call a half maid to the stand, please. Who
I only clean on the weekends. All right, leave me alone.
he discovered? Yes, I employ a half maid. He discovered the feces in the bed.
Ew.
Oh, what-
Jesus. I know. I will never be able to look at Amber Heard again, and I was a big Amber Heard fan. I'm like, God damn, man,
Amber
Heard's
Heard.
hot.
Amber
Not
Heard.
anymore. Not anymore, gentlemen and ladies.
Amber,
I was a big fan of Amber Head too.
Or just, you don't even need the amber part. Just a, what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Exactly.
Your neighbors had a big head.
Two
I was gonna
neighbors
say,
had-
you know, she did nothing for me. That's all I know.
two neighbors had a big head.
Now,
That's
that
a,
Jason
Hey, Jim.
Momoa, holy cow!
Big head amber. You could do that too.
that's a lot of feces.
And how about Depp coming to the court all slicked back? And as people said, he looked like a Bond or DC villain.
No.
It's like I just got out of a meeting with Lex Luthor. You want my testimony? No problem. He slicks back his hair. He just like is totally in full gangster mode or about to rule the world. I don't know what was going on, but it's like, can you try to look normal for court, please? Good Lord.
Well,
Johnny Depp
He's
sucks.
Johnny
He-
Depp. He doesn't have to look normal for court, Johnny. Come
I
on.
understand. I
he
guess
talked
so.
about the dog. He talked about the feces. He's going, no, that I know for sure. Couldn't have been human.
I couldn't have been
Yeah.
human.
I mean,
This is Amber Heard. Can you bring over some elephant dung for me, please?
yeah.
I got a
Yeah.
job for him. San
Or-
Diego,
Amber-
too?
He said it was It had to have been human because his dogs are only like 4 pounds each, and judging
Bigger
by
than
the
the dog.
amount,
To be fair, they could have had a big meal right before the pooping. You never know. Dogs will surprise you, believe me.
I
A
pumped
lot of
side
people
would,
are talking
whose
about
si-
dog feces and how big they are.
Whose side would Trump be on if he's watching it?
Depths. 100%. Depths. Come on.
Johnny Depp only made one good movie anyway.
Yeah,
Which one?
but I gotta tell you that Amber Heard,
Scissorhands.
she
Which
knows
one?
how to poop. A lot of poop.
Scissorhands was the only good movie.
Oh,
he
sure.
Made.
No, it's a good one.
He should have made any
I
movie
don't like
after that.
Willy. I don't like Willy Wonka. I got to
sucks.
agree with you. Nobody can touch Gene Wilder.
Benny and June.
I like Benny and June.
I never
Um,
liked him.
But I'm a big Scissorhands fan. I agree with you.
Gilbert Grape.
Gilbert Grape, sure. Also, I like that one. Was it Nick of Time, where his daughter gets kidnapped and it's kind of a real time movie where he's got to figure out what happened and stuff. I like that one, and I also liked him as Hunter S.
Brasco.
Thompson.
Johnny
uh,
Brasco. I watched that
Donnie,
one.
you're right. Oh, good lord, that's my favorite Johnny Depp movie. I love you, Donnie. I love you.
I love you, Slick.
I liked him in the first Pirate.
I love you, Jim Davis. What now?
I liked him in the first Pirates, and as Tom says, Ed Wood. I loved Ed
Ed
Wood.
Wood, of course. Very good, Tom. Yes.
Never seen
Oh,
this.
you did.
I
What'd
saw
you
the
think of my
pirate
movie?
movies.
What'd
Saw
you think
the
of my
Pirates
movie? Worst movie you ever saw? Well, my next one will be better.
Yeah.
Art, what do you think of the Pirates movies?
I saw the first one. Didn't care. Thought it was
Me too.
boring. Didn't like it. And I
Marty
never
and I
watched
are
the
on the
rest.
same page when it comes to the
Never
Pirate.
watched the rest.
Yeah,
the
me-
only cool part is when they went into the light and you saw they were skeletons. Spoiler. That's the only. But you have to wait the whole movie to see that cool part. But the rest of the movie was so boring.
I liked the movie. It was
I thought-
fun. Loved
I thought
it.
They sucked.
It's fun.
Thought it sucked
Adventure.
real bad.
Loved it.
Didn't care. Every
Didn't
successive
Same
sequel
with
I
Harry
was
Potter.
with
Didn't
already. Didn't feel
Yeah.
like I never needed to watch any pirate.
It
Pirates
wasted
of the
my
Caribbean
time.
movie
I
again.
watched them like, what is this? This is stupid.
I
I
think
loved
you
it.
guys have to
Watch them all
watch
the
the
time.
last one though, because Paul
Every week.
McCartney
Is Paul
is in
McCartney in
the
it?
he's in the last one as a
Really?
pirate.
For real?
So yes, he is in it.
Do-
He
do the-
plays
do the scene.
He does Johnny Depp's. He plays his uncle, and he's in a jail cell. It's a quick scene, but he's right, okay. He's sitting there playing cards and all of that, and and they show him, and he's singing a song, and he's look at me, I'm a pirate, It's like it was really fast.
Because Keith Richards was in there as his dad, so he
That I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, he was in there too, but
See, maybe I'll watch the YouTube clips because that's
Yeah,
a lot of that's a
yeah,
lot
that's
of
all I
way
can
I
handle,
watch
too.
that. Yeah,
No, I love the
YouTube
first
videos.
movie. I watch it every week now. It's awesome.
Now it
I love
sucks.
Yeah,
Johnny
sucks,
Depp
sir.
sucks,
Sucks
too.
really bad.
I hope Johnny Depp goes to jail and Amber Heard gets, I don't know,
No,
goes to jail too.
he's not going to go to jail. I believe
It's just a
he'll be
divorce
acquitted
case, right?
or whatever it
Is it
is.
just
Yeah, I think he will be absolved.
Well,
of
it's
blame. But
he's
Steve said,
suing
there
her
ain't
for
no
money
good guys, there ain't
because,
no bad guys.
yeah, he was dropped from a whole bunch of movies, so he's suing
Yeah.
her
Oh.
for money.
Yeah,
And
defamation,
she's-
right?
and she's
defecation.
Yeah, he's suing her for
Defecation of
defecation. Yeah.
Because they
They're gonna
didn't
be
do
on a
anything
lot of-
illegal, right?
What's that?
There's no crime being like. There's no illegal things. It's just
No,
a divorce, pretty much.
It's a divorce case. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I'm not watching it.
Yeah, I am too, buddy. Believe me.
Yeah,
I can't wait for the movie to come out. I'm going to watch it.
we will. Starring Johnny Depp
Yeah, I'm sure FX is planning the miniseries as we speak.
with John
And
Travolta
they'll
as Johnny Depp.
they'll get Skeet Ulrich, who's always been a poor man's Johnny Depp. to play
Skeet
Johnny
Ulrich. I love it.
Depp. I always
John
felt Skeet
Travolta in it.
Ulrich was like poor
She
man's
pooed in
Johnny
my
Depp.
bed.
That's when you hit my hair, and
Why'd
then
you
you
hit
shit
my
my
head with my-
bed,
Feces in my hair.
and then you have the nerve to marry or to have a mistress that's a half maid. Mr. Carter.
Jason Momoa, isn't she? She's still an Aquaman, right? Or they edit
No,
her
they
out?
cut
No,
her
I think they
Cut her
dropped
out
her.
of the sequel.
They got to put her in there. I'd leave her in there
Hey, let's ask Mira. Oh, never mind.
because they're punishing her for her personal life. I think they should leave her in Aquaman
No.
too.
Because it sounds. I haven't seen everything, but from what I've heard, she sounds like an awful person.
Well, and also, again, she's making this public.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, actually, I don't know where they're having the case. If no matter what, of course, it's going to be televised. All that BS. I mean, this goes back to OJ, guys. I hated that stuff.
Mm.
And every celebrity court case ever, I'm with Artie. It's like, I never want to know about it. I never want to watch it.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
doesn't
care.
matter.
How dare you invade my life with this shit that means nothing to me? Nothing.
Yeah, it's all
But
over.
again, it's salacious. It's celebrity, and
Mhm.
people want to hear it. A lot of people like the celebrity nonsense. Believe me, I've been a victim of it and a hero in it.
The only thing I like to watch, like news-wise, is Caitlin Cody on weather. She's dreamy. Yeah.
No
I,
wait.
and I retweet her on Twitter. She puts her weathercast, and like you get one retweet, and it's me. And I always wonder if she ever wonders who is this guy retweeting everything. I
Restraining order.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
probably got a restraining order on you. That's right.
She's like, who is this guy? He's a super fan. Caitlin Cody from Fox Chicago.
This
Yeah.
this famous cartoonist of some sort. Please keep him away from me.
Ooh, you know what happened last week? Larry Potash from WGN Morning News came to beautiful downtown Skokie to interview me.
Oh, I saw those pictures. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God!
Yeah, he was in the store like about a week
That's
ago or
cool.
so, and I'm going to be featured on his. He has a show called Backstory, and it's on YouTube and it's on the WGN website.
Yep.
And he just asked me a bunch of stuff. I thought it was going to be like what the email I got was, we're going to interview you because you grew up in Chicago, and we're going to ask you about buying comics and growing up with comic books. And I thought he was going to ask me about the neighborhood, where I bought comics, where I went to school, as a kid. But right away, man, bam, with the career questions. And what really hooked him was when I mentioned Disney, and Gorilla, and like them purchasing the characters from me and all this stuff. That really got him talking. But I knew where he was going. I don't want to. I got to steer him away from this. Like I got I knew they were gonna get into. I didn't want to go into the Jack Kirby kind of stuff. Do you own your stuff? That kind of.
Okay.
But it didn't go that way because I just kept telling them stories. But it's all the questions were all the questions I always get. Where'd you go to school? Where'd you go? And how'd you get into comics? What your inspiration? All that stuff. But it was pretty cool because but I could tell that Larry Potash doesn't know much about reading comics. Didn't seem like he read comics. but he knew the characters, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, all that stuff.
Sure.
But it was pretty cool. And the cameraman was real excited. And after Larry left, cameraman stood for another hour just hanging out. And it was pretty cool. And they took a bunch of videos of me drawing and talking. So I'm really curious at how it's going to come out. Skokie Joe said that I did good. He said, wow, that was cool. And I always know that, I don't know who told me this. I don't know if it was you, Johnny, or someone else, or when you get interviewed, you answer the question, but tell them what you want them to hear rather than don't, like if you answer a question, it could be just yes or no or elaborate, but answer the question, but tell them more. And that's kind of what I did with them. So, of course, they were there in the store for about 2 hours, and I probably talked for about an hour and a half of that time. So they had me mic'd up the whole time. So it was pretty cool. And it was fun, man. And so I'm really curious of what's going to come out. I talked for about an hour and a half, but the segments on their site are only 10 minutes. So I'm really curious of what they're going to keep in. But it was cool, man. And I told Larry when he walked in and we started talking, I said, man, you just brought a whole lot of handsome into the store. I said, you just enhanced us like a lot. You're real handsome. He goes, well, thank you very much. I go, and your suit, look at your shoes, your socks. Well, thank you. And then the other guy, after he left, he goes, yeah, I like how you complimented Larry. I said, he has to look like that. He wakes up at 3 a.m. every day to get to work. I'm like, yeah, I know. He just looks great. And he had that cool voice.
Oh, you know? Oh, yeah.
Tell me how you started.
He
was cool.
He used to come on the score in the 90s when I was there. And I would say it's 50-50 at best that he would remember me or not. But he was incredibly nice to me. And also the late Randy Salerno, who was another GN news anchor. And I would do a voice bit, and they would call me on the phone afterwards because I was producing, but I'd come on mic for a little bit, and then I'd hang back and screen phone calls. And they'd be like, hey, Shaky, it's Larry and Randy, and we're driving around. You're hilarious. And I'm like, oh, thanks, man. That's really nice. So
you remembered you.
Well, I don't know if you'd remember again, because this literally was more than 20 years ago. I stopped working at the score in 2000. But that said, that show Backstory is outstanding. It's a really great half-hour show produced by GN. And it's, by the way, GN Radio just celebrated its 100th anniversary.
Yeah.
1922 they started. This week's the anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah, because before you came by, I watched a bunch of Backstories before. I want to see what he's going to do.
It's going to be, honestly, I'm sure it's going to be great, Artie, and congratulations. Yeah. No, he's a great interviewer, and it's a really class show, so that's really cool.
Yeah, I hope I didn't, you always think about an interview and think about what did I say, that I say something weird or I say something inappropriate, but I don't think I did. But it's just
Can I say feces, Larry?
I didn't talk about pooing on anyone's bed or nothing.
Mudheads come up at all?
You do really well. I was with you. We did a podcast one time. We went to that Doctor Who coffee place.
Oh yeah,
And there was an Oh Yeah podcast section of that, and I mean, Art, you just got up there and talked. You just
with Elliot.
He just held
Elliot
court
Serrano.
for an hour.
Yeah,
I felt like that was
great.
Man. That was real cool because I felt like I was on stand up kind of thing. Like I just got on there and just started talking. And
you did great.
And you kind of read the audience. They're all, and when you're on stage looking, they're just, well, you probably know too, they're just all looking right at you. And everyone's there is waiting to see what you're going to say. And that was real cool, man. That's probably the best I've ever been, on a microphone with Elliot just asking me things. And Elliot Serrano.
Yeah, Elliot interviewed you on stage too. Skoke, was it you and Watch Artie?
Yes, at the what was that place?
I think it was the Beach.
Yeah, you were there, Johnny. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. There, Another situation. Yeah, Art did really well there too.
And it was a live. No, you guys, honestly, both of you, and I'm not blowing smoke up your asses.
Yeah.
But no, you guys know what you're doing on stage. You guys.
And it's really. It took me a while, early on, before we even podcasted. I know that to go live, you can't stutter or do the ums. People says and
Sure.
Man, that destroys a live recording, a live podcast immediately when you do the ums and ums or erms and all that.
Erms.
Another thing, when the two of you guys are together, you play off of each other really well, and that's always fun to watch.
You couldn't. Didio couldn't keep his concentration when you guys would be on those DC Nation.
Yeah, he
panel.
would always break. You'd always
All
see
right, you guys, you're killing
shoulder
me.
pump.
All right, stop it. I got to make my agenda here. What are you
'Cause I
doing?
remember one time he's on a roll. He was on a roll asking everyone stuff, random questions, to everybody. And he looked at me and goes, all right, how old is Superman? I went, 32, just like Jesus. And I did my hands. And messed him up. He went, he just lost it.
By the way, what you said about misdirection, when you get a question you don't want to answer, but you give the answer you want to give, that literally happened to me. I just put out the episode, a great conversation with Jonathan Frakes. Yes, Will Riker from Star Trek.
Did you really? You
Yeah,
interviewed him?
he
Cool.
you know, he did First Contact, which is the best Next Generation movie, and then he did Insurrection, which is not a very good movie. But what are you going to do? They can't all be, you know, you can't bat 1,000. So I asked him, because I heard it was kind of a tug of war sort of production, and I said, was that a tough film to direct compared to First Contact? And I mentioned Michael Piller, who was one of the big producers of both the TV show and the films. And he went off on a tangent about Michael Piller was great. He gave a lot of, and again, I can't help it, but I'm hearing the Trump voice. He gave a lot of people a lot of great opportunities to make Star Trek episodes. We got a lot of input from a lot of new writers. But no, he did. And I mean, I've always read that about him. So he just spun it into, let me tell you great things about Michael Piller.
Yeah.
And I understood and took the message of, he doesn't want to talk about that. Let's move on.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Because again, it was great, and Star Trek fans will love it because it's a nice little nugget and stuff. Now, honestly, guys, I forgive me for self-congratulations, but
No, man. That's
I'm
good.
very happy with the way it came out. And further, I was so buzzed and wired after talking to him. I literally had to lay down and relax.
Yeah,
Even rock the
it happens.
ganja a little bit to like calm down. Because I was like, oh God, that was so great.
Yeah.
He was amazing. This is fantastic. And I kept my cool during the conversation. But honestly, afterwards, I'm like, I can't believe I talked to one of my favorite Star Trek people. This is fantastic.
I was excited when you mentioned you were going to be talking to him. I was like, oh man, I like that guy.
Come on, man. I mean, good Lord. He's so great. And also, I love Artie. His wife is Jeannie Francis, Laura from Luke and Laura in General Hospital.
Oh, yeah.
General Hospital.
General Hospitalis.
And it was great because I ended the conversation and said, hey, by the way, man, I go, forgive me, but I love your wife. I've had a crush on her since I was in high school. And he laughed and he's like, oh, Jeannie's doing great. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. He goes, I'll tell her you said that. And I'm like, oh.
And it's great because, like, after you have those intense moments, like you have to be on either on a panel or a podcast or interview or something like that, the moment it's over, like what you said, you had to go lay down, and it's you exhale like, whew, and then you feel like I'm done for the day, I'm finished.
You're
like,
wiped out. Yes.
Yeah. After Larry Potash left, they were there about 2 hours, and after he left, and the guy drove away, I helped him to his car, all this stuff, and I walked back in the store, and Joe showed me. He looked at me, and right away I went, yes, like that, and he went, yeah, it was good, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. But then I had a meeting. I had a phone meeting with stupid people, and so I had to call. I had to talk about that. So I had to go on again. I turned it off and I rested for 30 minutes, and then I got back on. It was different. But when that happens, you're just exhausted because you
I just want to
been
say, if Jeannie Francis is watching, I wanted to give her the full effect. Miss Francis, I love you. Please look at me. Look at me. All right,
call him number one.
Did I call him number one? No, I did not call him number one, Andrew. But what I did do was, man, my buddy Larry Young from AIT Planet Lair Publishing had the best Star Trek question to ask him as far as like nerd stuff. And we talked about Thomas Riker, which was a duplicate from an episode of Next Gen and became a different version of him. And he was different then.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
You know, and he was on Deep Space Nine. And it was so great because it was like, hey, man, what was the question? I can't remember what the question. Oh, I said, like, there was a rumor, and again, you'll forgive me, but a quick Star Trek tangent. There was a rumor that in the writers' room when they created this Thomas Riker, that maybe they'd kill off the original character Will and let this Thomas character continue because it would have set up all these relationship dynamics that weren't there with straight arrow Will Riker. And he said, I don't know about that, but the way they wrapped up his character, he joined a rebel group and went against Starfleet and even got arrested and was put on this alien planet prison camp. And he said, I just want to know if he's been stuck in that jail for 30 years. And I said, the Birdman of Cardassia, and he laughed. Because Birdman of Alcatraz, the famous book and movie and stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool. I got, and that was awesome. I'm like, all right, I made, Jonathan Frakes laugh. All right, it's a good day.
He's gonna remember that.
So,
I like
yeah,
it,
but it was
I
great,
like
man.
it.
Oh, so cool. I might have to smoke right now to just bring myself back down again. I'm all jazzed up again. Oh,
Sorry, put the mask on, Johnny. Calm down. Sorry.
Johnny,
Francis, I love you.
when does that come out, Johnny?
It's out. I I was gonna hold it till Monday, but
Why?
I know. You know why, Francis? Honestly, and I'd be happy to tease for Word Balloon listeners what I've got in the hopper. I just released Jeff Johns. Excellent conversation. I still have Ed Brubaker that I have to release, and this weekend I'm doing an online convention that'll be on the Word Balloon YouTube channel. Comic Art Fans, Bill Cox's excellent art shows that he does twice a year, and I'm doing panels on Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow night I'm talking to Kelly Jones at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's 3 Pacific, 5 p.m. Central, and then and I'll tell you the rest Eastern times. Sunday I'm talking to Paul Kupperberg, formerly of DC, great writer, at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then at 4 p.m. Eastern, I'm talking to Mike Gold on Sunday. So those are going to be great. So I literally have so many shows in the can, plus stuff planned for next week. And then I'm like, all right, I got to get this out. I'm like, all right, I'll put out Riker now. Plus, we're going to talk Star Trek on Monday on our Oh Yeah Trek Watch podcast. So, so there you go. So anyway, sorry, guys. I didn't mean to monopolize.
Sometimes when you say you got it all in the can, like you have so many, you might have to upgrade to a bucket.
Yeah,
It's
You
true.
know? You got them all in a bucket.
You got to let your pants out because if you got them in the can, you got
I'm
to
shoving
shove
10
more up
pounds
there.
of stuff in a 5-pound bag. My buddy Mike Murphy used to say that all the time on his sports talk show. And everyone, of course, had a bunch of euphemisms. What are you stuffing in your bag right now, Murph? Can't help it.
Move your bag.
Art, remind us again, when is the your interview coming out?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Well,
asked him. He said, "There's a lot of things here I have to edit." That's what the cameraman said.
Yeah, I bet it doesn't come out till the fall because
Probably
it seems
not.
like
He
it's
said
a
it may not be
seasonal
for a while.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
that's the case.
You'll have
It
to
was-
let us know when it does. That's pretty
It was
good.
pretty fun, man. I wore my blue coat with the Oh Yeah patch, the Action Cat patch, and we filmed in the store. And I don't know what he's picked a nice background, lighting. It was pretty cool. I like it.
Artie, you should ask them truly. Talk
Mm-hmm.
to if you still have the producer's name,
Yeah.
or even Larry himself.
Yeah.
You should ask for permission to put your segment on your website and on the
I asked him too.
website.
I asked him if I could share and all that. He goes, "Yeah, do whatever." And
Good.
then also, because they're gonna contact me with, they want images and artwork and JPEGs and all that stuff.
Sure.
So they're gonna ask me for a lot of things.
No, that's great, man. That's
Yeah.
excellent.
So it's gonna be cool, and
Yeah.
I hope it. Yeah, I'm always curious how things come out. Every time anyone did a video of me, it always come out way better than I ever thought.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Didn't you do the one with the two women that used to host the
Yeah.
morning show?
Yeah, I think it was you and me in the morning.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jean Sparrow and I
Yeah,
forget
Jean.
her co-host name.
I still
name.
follow Jean Sparrow on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
I write to her now, and she remembers me. It's pretty
She's
cool.
very sweet.
Yeah, I like her. She cut her hair. It's real short hair now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay.
They came in and
Yeah.
did an audio commercial at one of the radio stations I worked at, and they were very nice. They were very, very
Yeah,
nice.
she's real cool,
So-
and they both were nice to me. And
Yeah.
they came to my house, the camera people and the interview lady.
Yeah.
And it was the same people. They ended up interviewing us at C2E2, the same people. So they both interviewed both of us. And the guy was dressed like Star Trek. He had a yellow shirt on. But that was pretty fun. And next up, Wendy Williams. Yeah,
Wendy
man.
Williams hurting, man.
Yeah, she hasn't been on her show all year.
She's
got
claiming
co-hosts.
poverty or something like that. I don't know what's going on.
She's drug addiction and
There you go.
divorcing. She's depressed. She's suffering, man.
Yeah, it's not good,
and,
man.
And she's losing all kinds of weight. I'm worried about her. But I know the
understand.
moment she divorced, her show shifted. She was very angry and bitter on the reporting. So man, Wendy, you're not as nice. And then she started losing weight. And then I don't know what's
But didn't she
happening.
get in trouble for something she said on the show too? Because you said she was angry and bitter, and she was mean about something. I think.
She had to apologize quite a few times.
Mm.
Because she would just, lash out with people.
Angry Wendy chips.
Angry Wendy chips. Yeah. So
That big lantern jaw.
yeah, one day we'll get to meet each other. You know, I don't say I'm going to meet them. I always say they're going to meet me one day.
There you
That's
go.
the spirit.
Famous cartoonist.
It's a little different. Yeah. I don't see the difference. We just both have different jobs, but we're both people. You know, she's going to meet me. She's going to remember it too. So I got to make everyone remember. I know Hulk Hogan probably recalls my meeting with him one day. I bet he talks to Jimmy Hart. Remember that guy from Skokie? You know, remember? Give me $100. Yeah.
Another tragedy of celebrities we're all aware of. I'm very sorry to hear about Virgil and his Alzheimer's and whatever else he's suffering right now, dementia and stuff. Yeah,
I didn't hear this. What happened?
That's very sad. It's very sad. No, but it is. And I tease and whatever.
We forgive Virgil. He wasn't.
We had
right.
one altercation.
Yeah.
I would never wish any ill like that on anybody.
No.
But
And
that's I was bummed to hear that. Also, because I can't make fun of him anymore.
I didn't hear about this at all.
No, I didn't know about that.
Gilbert Gottfried too, right?
Gilbert.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure Scope
jeez.
feels the same way. Honestly, it is such a loss because, good Lord, we look forward to that podcast every week.
Yeah.
That was tough. That's one of those, like, I'm not that affected by celebrity losses like that, but this one hit me pretty hard. I was kind of surprised by it, but it's the kind of thing where with podcasts sometimes, if you listen to them enough, you start to feel like you know the hosts, like personally, and you become attached to these people. And so this was so shocking and sudden. Like, I didn't hear about it until Scoot texted us and said something on the day.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
He died like a month or so ago, and it was like, what? Like, he was sick? Like, I had no idea. It was just, it's tough. It's just, it was just so sad.
Yeah, it was sad.
Yeah, you get invested in their show, especially when they share personal stuff. You know, it's
But also,
it gets that way.
Also, Skoke really was an active audience member
Yeah,
that
you were
would
on there.
go on and call in, and so many times made Gilbert laugh, made Frank, his co-host, laugh. So I totally understand, and forgive me for comparing my show to Gilbert's, but I have really been honored with so many people telling me, God, you're in my head every week with your shows. It means so much to me. I mean, I had a guy who told me a really sad story about how he spent time with drug rehabilitation in a halfway house, and he's like, listening to your show is one of the ways I can get through the day. And I'm like, Jesus, man, that means a lot. And it's so no, I get it, and I feel that way.
Johnny, I'll tell you, this show that we do does not have nearly the audience that Word Balloon does, but I get people all the time when I go to shows that talk about this show and talk about how how it helped them get through different things and more than one person, and that's always amazed me because I know we just get on here and goof off and make fun of each other and make fun of everything else, but it means a lot to some people, and it's amazing to me when they come up to us at shows and say that I got through this because of you guys, or I listened to you guys because and it's so humbling, to say the least.
Yeah, when I don't go live for a while too, people start writing to me. Hey man, you okay?
Absolutely.
Doing good?
Well,
Where are you? You okay?
Both of those reasons are why I put the audio of our YouTube shows on the Word Balloon feed. So no, it's the same large audience that listens to any of my shows is listening to us. And I mean, again, you guys know, I could be such a jerk and a perfectionist when it comes to. I'm confessing, obviously, but
I've
no,
never
honestly,
seen that.
If I just thought this was just like a lark and not actually funny, I would just keep it on the feed. I wouldn't put it on Word Balloon, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Skoke is funny, Scoot's funny, Artie's funny, Franco.
D. Brad's here. He's on all the shows.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Now he's No. Well, thank
Peace-ob.
you.
That's a good word to use. Peace-ob.
What is
Use that. That could be a name for a character, Art. You're talking about that. Peace-ob.
Yeah.
I did play. Yeah, I
Rick
did play
Moranis.
trivia with Gilbert. And Johnny, what you said there about me having interacted with them, that was something Franco reminded me of too when this first happened. I was like, I was saying to Franco, I don't know, it's weird, like being broken up about a celebrity, someone I don't know personally. But he's like, well, you kind of interacted with them on another level through these other things, like calling in on the call-in shows and talking to him there. Like we listened to the entire track of the In Sync song, God Must Have Spent a Little More Time on You, on one of the episodes. Because it was a Valentine's Day episode, and they wanted people to call in with bad love songs. Yeah. So they listened to the whole thing. They watched the music video while I was on the phone with them, and we were talking about it and everything. I just pulled up that episode not too long ago. But yeah, things like that. And the trivia nights they would have, they hosted a couple of those on Zoom. So it is like, you don't know the person, like he wouldn't know me, but still, it's those extra levels there of connection that
He insulted you, didn't he?
He insulted me. Yeah. He insulted my Italian heritage.
Really, it's not that, and it's you connecting with them. I'll never forget, like when we first started at DC with Dan. I'll never forget the conversation we had with him, Art, where he said, you know, we were talking about Tiny Titans, and we were getting ready to launch Tiny Titans, and we were about to go in and announce it, and he said to us, he goes, guys, this is the moment things are going to change for you. He said, after we get through with this panel, people are going to read your book, and then they're going to take ownership of that, and they're going to be connected to you in a different way.
They're going to claim you.
They're going to claim you. And sure enough, he was right. I mean, we get people all the time. All the time. Like, I was at Free Comic Book Day, and I can't tell you, you know, that there were a bunch of people that came up and said, you know, I used to read this book, you know, growing up, and you know, I still read, and the kids that are picking it up now and reading it are going to have the same thing. So it's a thing that you connect on a different level like that. You listen to it week in, week out, so that's you on a personal level that you've connected with them.
Yeah, you're going to become part of them. They're going to claim ownership to you. They're going to. That's what he said. And it's just going to be that way from now on. You're going to be somebody's artist, like somebody's creator, and that happens with everything. I feel I know Bob Odenkirk. You know, I feel like in Cranston. I feel I know these guys.
Yeah.
Even though I saw Cranston, we were sitting in the audience waiting to meet him, but I felt like I knew him already. You know, but I get it. That's how it is. Both ends works both ways. You know.
Yeah, Deep Bread says person, not P-Sob. I like P-Sob better.
I like
P-Sob. It's what happens when Jim Neighbors is at the urinal and he's, you know,
that's right.
I can't pee.
He's crying as he's peeing. He's P-sobbing.
That's one of his songs on those albums that Skunk just bought. Cry when you're peeing.
And there's Kevin. He's the one that told the story, right?
Yes, that's right.
Things were the one good thing that happened during COVID times. Well, thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
That's really nice.
By the way, that's a great name for a Schwarzenegger character, Kevin Kleinhaus. That's right. I make cheese for a living. I'm Kevin Kleinhaus. I'm a cheesemonger. People don't know that. I used to be a fishmonger. Now I'm a cheesemonger. Kleinhaus.
I made this cheese, and I only half made it.
That's right. I made the other half. She fermented the feta and the gouda herself.
Backwards.
I like that. Now we're fishing for compliments. Yeah. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Andrew Clark always sends me weird.
I gotta play some.
Andrew Clark made me laugh. He sent me a photo of Samuel L. Jackson playing. You know that game where you have to guess which character, and you flip the man. I don't even know what that's called. Maybe it's Clue or Guess Who. But you're looking at all these pictures, and you have to ask questions. Does he have blonde hair? You know.
Oh yeah, Guess Who? Hair? Guess Who? Yeah.
And then he sent me that with Samuel L. Jackson playing, and he says, "Does he look like a bitch?" so that made me laugh.
Is that a YouTube?
No, that was just a picture, a meme.
Oh, it's a meme. Okay.
Yeah, Andrew Clark sends me all these weird stuff all the time, and it makes me laugh. Like every few days or so, once a week or so, sent me something.
Did you see the one Mitch Halleck brought it up from Terrificon? End of July, everybody at Mohegan Sun. Go see me and Franco
Oh,
at
yeah.
Terrificon.
.com.
Yeah.
At Terrificon.com. But he brought up the guy from he's Moriarty on Star Trek, but he was the butler on The Nanny, the British guy.
Yeah.
And he's the captain of the aircraft carrier with Fred Thompson in The Hunt for Red October.
Nice.
And he, just very, very straight guy. And in Star Trek, he played Moriarty, and he was a holographic character. He tricks the Enterprise into trying to make him real in the real world.
I remember
Spoiler.
that.
And it ends with him. They put him in a cube, a virtual reality universe that he could be in. But they made a series of memes, and his virtual reality is he's the butler on The Nanny. And he goes, "Damn
really?
you, Picard." He's like,
funny.
at last, freedom. And they cut to the picture of him and The Nanny serving coffee to the rich guy. And he's like, "Damn you, Picard."
That's funny.
I love that. Memes.
Oh, man.
Memes are good. I like
Yeah,
I like
Frank.
memes unless they're about me. Although a lot of people enjoy the Trump memes. They get I like the picture of myself with the Rambo physique, or me as Rocky with the red and white striped stars and striped boxing trunks. A lot of people like me depicted that way. Very accurate to my regular physique. A lot of people don't know that.
I like it. That's good. It's good.
Not to bring everybody down again, but we did. I know. I'm sorry. We did lose Neil and George in the last couple of weeks, and that made me kind of sad.
Do you guys have any George or Neil stories? I do. Feel free.
Yeah.
The best. We met Neil. We met both guys numerous times. But my favorite Neil Adams story is when I went to the DC Comics writing seminar. And you go there and you have coffee, and then you listen to them talk, and then you come back for more coffee, and then you go back. Well, at the lunchtime, they have these tall tables that are like lounge tables, and I'm standing there with these two ladies, and I said, "Can I stand?" Like, sure. We're talking, and it happened to be Neil Adams' wife and his daughter, I think it was. And I look ahead of me, and Neil Adams sitting on a couch. He's looking at me, and I could tell he recognizes me. He's looking, and he says, "Hey." I go, he goes, "Why are you here?" Like I said, well, I draw the kids' books for DC Comics. "Oh, yeah? Yep. Which characters you work on?" "All of them." He goes, "How about Superman?" "Yeah, worked on Superman." "Batman?" "Yes." "Green Lantern?" "Yes." "Green Arrow?" "Yes." "Flash?" "Yes." "Wonder Woman?" "Yes, sir." "How about Martian Manhunter?" I'm like, "Yes." He went, And I said, and all of their pets. And he went, "Oh." And he looked at me and goes, "Enjoy your lunch. Welcome to DC Comics." That's what he said to me. And I'm like, cool. He was ready to kick me out of there. But that was a moment I was like, yes, I'm in the club. You know?
That's awesome.
That was pretty cool.
He came and he signed in New York, and it was an awesome afternoon. He was very charming with people and signed things and told stories. And my favorite was talking to him about UFOs, Area 51, and Bigfoot, which was really eye-opening because you wouldn't expect a guy like that to like really, with art's really into it, and we joke around with it and stuff like that, but he believes it or believed it. And that was kind of eye-opening and kind of cool actually to talk to him about that stuff. And he signed the wall in the bathroom too. So
that's awesome. That's great, man.
Because he told the story. I'm sorry. Yeah, he told the story about like how he was signing in some store, and the bathroom seat was all wobbly and stuff like that. So he checked to make sure ours was good. So it was. So he gave it the Neil Adams seal of approval by signing the wall right next to it.
Oh, cool.
So
he came on in the first year of Word Balloon, late 2005. And we had an amazing 2-hour conversation, and he could not have been sweeter with his time. And because I called, and Marilyn or somebody else answered at continuity, and then they put him on. He's like, "This is Neil." And I'm like, "Hey," I go, "I was just trying to arrange for an interview." He's like, "Well, I got nothing to do this afternoon. Let's do it now." And I'm like, great, because I've been wanting to talk to you since I was 10 years old. So it was great. And we covered everything. And I let him give his expanding Earth theory because I'm like, hey, you've been great with your stories about working at DC in the 60s and 70s. I got him to talk about drawing and writing Jerry Lewis comics as well as all the great stuff that he did in the superhero world. And his Dr. Kildare comic strip, which is really great and beautifully drawn. Classic Neil Adams style and everything. So many different things. And then I had him on again when Gary Friedrich, the ghostwriter creator, was having issues with Marvel. And just like he did for Siegel and Schuster back in the 70s to get them involved in better compensation for Superman, he was on Gary's side with Marvel. Like, hey, come on, we got to figure out a way. Let's, this guy was important. And so we had a great conversation, another like great 90-minute conversation. Then I just re-released them with his passing. And and I'll say real fast because I'm sure you guys have better stories. Perez only interviewed him once on video for 10 minutes at a Wizard Chicago show. But he was a sweetheart. And I talked to him several times at cons, off the record, but he was always incredibly nice. And he would always say, the podcast paparazzi. Nice to see you. And it would crack me up. I'm like, oh, thanks for remembering, man. That's cool. So
yeah, that's good stuff. I remember going at that last San Diego show, the last one we had. Franco was telling me he believes in Sasquatch. Like Neil Adams believes in Sasquatch. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna go talk to him. So I went to his booth, and all those guys were there. And they're like, what do you want? Like, what do you want to buy? Is anything? I was like, I just want to ask Neil Adams a question. Like, well, you don't want to buy anything? No. And I told him who I was and thank you for shopping at our store. And I said, sir, I heard you're a big fan of Sasquatch. You believe in Sasquatch? He looked at me, he goes, come here, sit down next to me. So I sat next to him, and he continued to have customers and draw things and sell stuff. So he told me, he said, Sasquatch is something I don't believe in. I believe in a possibility of a two-legged hominoid roaming around the woods that is undiscovered by humans. I'm like, yeah. And then we talked for about 10, 15 minutes. And I didn't have to say anything. I just listened to him talk. And then I walked away and said, well, I got to get back to my table. And he goes, it's been a pleasure. Good to meet you. I'm like, I know he recognizes me because he used to come up to our table and pick us. He'd pick, I think, Scoot and Kurt one time to help him set up his table or something. You two strong guys, come in. So I know he recognized me. And there one time he came up to my table at that same show and he looked, let me see what you're selling. And he looked at everything and he says, so you're the kids guy. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, you must be, what did he say? I forgot what he said. You must be spitting nickels or something like that.
Yeah. If I wind you up, I bet you spit nickels because you were like talking like 100 miles an hour and doing you know, like drinking your coffee and going real fast.
Yeah.
Like,
and I see you should come to my house. Sometimes I, shoot him out, whatever I said. And he laughed.
You said you pee nickels.
Yeah, I piss him. Yeah, that's what sometimes I piss him at home or whatever. And then he walked away and went back.
Yeah.
But so I know he recognized me, but these two encounters were probably the best.
Even still, like I he doesn't know us from Adam. He kind of sort of recognizes us, but I was in the airport at JFK. We were going to San Diego, and Buzz walked by, the artist.
Yeah.
And started talking to him, and he would help the Adams, like when they would be going long distances and stuff like that, and then Neil came over and was talking to Buzz, and he goes, hey, I know you. And I said, yeah, I do Tiny Titans at DC. And he goes, come on, have breakfast with us. And he took us into the lounge and, bought me breakfast. And like, he didn't have to do that, we just sat there. I'm like, this is so cool. Over the
at the first 2006 New York show, his booth was set up next to this booth. And it was one of those specialty comics. And Gloria Steinem was involved in this comic in some way. And while I was waiting in line to talk to Neil, there was a guy who had a camera and a microphone and talked to Neil. And he goes, you should talk to Ms. Steinem over there. And the guy was a young guy, so he had no idea who Gloria Steinem was. And he's like, you don't know who that is? He goes, that's a historic figure. She's a real superhero. He goes, this woman was on the front line of women's rights. Very public figure. And I mean, really just explaining to him, and not in a mean way, but just like, get a clue, man, and talk to Ms. Steinem. And I had already talked to Ms. Steinem, and she was fantastic. She was great. But yeah, I'm really glad you did that. He goes, if he said the classic thing about history, if you don't know where you've been, how do you know where you're going? And it's true.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. No, I mean, I really, Neil could be tough, and Neil could be kind of self-confident, I think, in a way that might put some people off, to put it
Intimidating.
mildly.
Yeah.
But truly, and I say this about Steranko as well, they could back it up with talent.
Yeah.
So I don't mind the guys who are happy to tell you how great they are if they have the talent. I mean, we certainly lived that with Muhammad Ali and other things.
Yeah.
And it's like, kind of get it. And God, that was another great facet of one of my talks with him, was not only the Superman Ali comic, which he had great stories about, but also, you guys might know, and I think Scoot will probably remember, for the Sports Century, ESPN magazine recreated the Superman Ali cover with Superman and Jordan fight, or rather Ali and Michael Jordan fighting,
Really?
and a bunch
I
of
remember that.
and a bunch of classic athletes that were represented in their Sports Century 100 Greatest Athletes of the Century documentary series. And it was a great recreation. And no, he's like, I'm very proud of that. And Jordan told me he liked it. And of course, Ali loved the original Superman Ali thing. He was thrilled about it. And I guess I heard this from Mike Gold, that at first the Muslims were not, the black Muslims, forgive me, and not to be pejorative, but they kind of had a problem with it, as it's okay with the religion or whatever, and it all got straightened out, and obviously they put it out. But Ali was like, I want to do this. And it's like, yeah, I want to be seen fighting Superman, and I beat Superman. It's such a great book.
Yeah.
So
his mama called him Clay.
when they when they're carrying Superman out of the ring on the stretcher, and he's all bruised and bloody, and Jimmy and Perry are the cornermen.
That's right.
It's so great. Sees this ghost. Use your lift. Come on, kid.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Anyway,
there's lots of comic book history between him and George. And George was just a sweetheart. He was just like cool. Everything that you read, anything anybody wrote about him in the last couple of weeks or the last few months, because we knew it was coming. Not anything negative, and it wasn't made up. All this stuff was true.
Yeah.
Everything about him, he was the nicest guy. He was the sweetest guy.
Yeah.
One George Perez story that really sticks out in my head is he didn't know we were there. We were at Islands of Adventure at Universal Studios in Florida, and we were getting on the Spider-Man ride.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And were you there, Art? Because it was Jimmy Cruz director, and and this guy is being picked out of the line and being escorted to the front, and we're like, "What the hell? How come that guy gets to go? What the blah blah blah?" Oh wait, it's George Perez. That's okay.
Yeah, and we settled down. Like, all right, yeah.
George Perez was in line way behind us. We were getting. Well, everybody in line was getting pissed, and we were getting pissed too. We're like, "What the hell?" Yeah, and then we're like, "It's George Perez." We're like, "No, it's okay. It's fine."
Yeah, I remember our first DC dinner. Got invited to DC Comics. First time ever party dinner and rooftop, all this stuff. And we were sitting with, I think we were chilling with Mike Carlin, and Jurgens was there. And Dan DiDio came over.
Jerry Ordway too.
Yeah, Jerry Ordway. Yeah, and Dan DiDio came over by us and said, "You two, Teen Titans guys, you don't sit by these guys." And he picked us up and then pushed us over by George Perez and Marv Wolfman. You need to talk with these guys.
You belong with these guys.
And we're standing right in front of these. This is first how we met them. I'm like, George Perez, Marv Wolfman, hi. And they're like, oh, welcome. And then that's when George said, oh, Tiny Titans guys, I love your cover. Like, whoa. And I'm thinking, freaking out inside. And he goes, but can you make Beast Boy's costume? Can you make it red and white like how I drew? I'm like, sure. Yeah. And then he's like, that's all. And they're like, wow. And that was pretty incredible. And that's our first time we met them.
This is the Beast Boy Crouch, of course, and the Chameleon Boy Crouch.
He looks like a wolf. I always made him like Patrick the Wolf Boy a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then after that, I remember me and Franco, we were somewhere else. I think it was a restaurant. It was DC related. It's at a convention, but we were at breakfast or something. And I went, man, there's Wolfman and Perez. And I remember Franco said, just go say hi to him. And I said, I can't. And he goes, yeah, you could. They're just guys. I'm like, yeah. And then we went up and said, hello, guys. And they're like, hey, how you doing? So that's like, ever since then, that's when he goes, oh, hi, Odd. Hi, Odd. And that was what happened. And then ever since,
You gotta put the extra H's in hard.
Yeah. So, but Perez used to come up to us. I remember several times before the show would start, he'd walk the floor and he'd walk in front of our table and say good luck and you guys doing good and you have a good show and stuff. Wow, that was cool.
Yeah.
I liked it. It's
Good
good
miss
man.
those guys.
I blew it. I had my leg infection where I was in the hospital for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And it was during C2E2. And that and a Steranko panel was like, hey, do you want to moderate a Steranko panel? And I'm like, I can't. And then it was, hey, do you want to moderate a Wolfman Perez? It's going to be George's last appearance in Chicago. And I'm like, I can't. Like, I was so bummed because truly, because Marv, thankfully, because of you guys and my association with you guys, Marv kind of lightened up with me as well. So Wally, so agree with you. It wasn't my introduction to George, but JLA Avengers, good Lord, that man politicked for those two companies to get together on that for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And we finally got that story, and Busick wrote the hell out of it. And it really is. It really is a great crossover story. It lived up to expectations.
Yeah, I would give that whole series to Aliens. If they came down and says, I need Marvel and DC, I need examples to take to my people, and I'd say, here you go, just take this. And that,
here's the power of George Perez for me. For years, and Art, you know this, and whenever we do a panel, we were asked about our first comic.
Yeah.
I can never remember what my first comic was, but I can remember the first time I picked up a comic and it had to be continued, and I went looking for those and never found them. And it was a George Perez Teen Titans with the Doom Patrol. They were looking for the Doom Patrol. But then earlier was in middle school, I traded this guy. He wanted to trade comics, and he wanted to trade 5 of my comics for 1 of his. And I'm like, no, that's a stupid deal. I don't want to do that. But then he showed me the book. He goes, look at this one. And I'm like, oh, that was cool. And it was Avengers 178, I believe, 177, 178, where they fight Count Nefaria.
Yeah.
And again, not knowing then, because I didn't follow artists, I just looked at the art. I didn't know the artists.
Yeah, look cool.
But both of those are George Perez, and they made a big impression on me when I was much younger. So. Yes, unfortunately, Scoot had to go. He said goodbye in the chat, and I was going to mention it, but Scoot had to go.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
I think my first George Perez, like where I really knew it was him, was probably Crisis.
That's
when, because all of the guys, he drew all of them.
Yep.
He drew all the guys on every cover. Had all the guys.
Did he do Crisis before or after Titans? I'm so bad.
Titans was first.
Yeah,
Titans came first.
Yeah, Titans was first, and the Avengers stuff was before that.
Yeah.
So
I was aware of him then, but when I really knew who is this guy, and then I realized when you finally buy the comic and you realize there's artists and names of writers and artists on it. That's when I realized, wow, this guy's George Perez. And then I realized he drew all these Avengers books and Teen Titans. Mm-hmm. I had all those too. Yep. That was insane. Like the Crisis ones is when I realized he draws all of them real little guys, and he makes characters like Harbinger and the other guy, was it Pariah, something like that?
Yeah,
right.
All these characters you never saw before, and then they're in here and they're all dying. That was cool.
Not Wave Rider, but Harbinger. You're right. And
also, Harbinger was in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and also JLA Avengers, that great final cover where it's Superman and he's got Thor's hammer and Captain America's shield.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yes, exactly. And also, earlier Perez, I wasn't aware of him by name, but I was reading those Marvel Black and White Deadly Hands of Kung Fu.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where the White Tiger first appeared, the original White Tiger.
He created him,
Yeah, absolutely. And that was like I'm like, George, I've loved your work since the White Tiger. He's like, oh, that was very early for me.
Yeah, he did do the JLA before that. I was just looking through an old issue of George where I think it was where one of the introductions of Red Tornado when he turned on the JLA and stuff like that. That was his issue.
Really? Wow. Yeah. That's going way back. Jeez.
Yeah.
When we were draw as kids, I would always copy George Perez and John Byrne. And what I remember off of George Perez's drawings, he would draw the rib cage the same on every character, and the top of the thigh, the muscles on the thigh, were always the same. And John Byrne would always have his things too. Like John Byrne, I remember drawing the arms and shoulders would always look a certain way. But that's what I distinctly remember about his art, because Batman's ribs look like Superman's ribs. They all look the same.
And he was
Yeah.
young when he did those too. He was like barely out of his teens when he was drawing some of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's great
Yeah.
seeing 70s pictures of George.
Yeah.
He had hair. It was
Yeah.
black. You know?
Yeah, he was thick, real big guy. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Thick.
Yeah, there's great pictures of him and Marv too from the early 80s and stuff that are just outstanding. Again, 40 years ago or whatever.
And you hear that story. One of my favorite stories that he tells is him and Marv plotting the Terra story line in a diner. And people overhearing him about about killing this young girl and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's okay, we're comic book writers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm bummed. I got to talk to Marv about oh good lord, the one that was it Tara that was sleeping with Deathstroke?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just like that whole thing. And again, boy, there's this plot line that people would just lose their shit over today in terms of how dare you do that. And I asked Marv about it, and he's like, I read Nabokov's Lolita as a novel and saw the movie in the early 60s, and he goes, got it. It's great literature. And it is, of course it's reprehensible. That's the point. She's a bad girl.
And they showed her smoking. I remember she was smoking.
After post-coitus, as they say.
Yeah.
Post-coitus.
Yeah. Because then you see that and you're like, oh, she's bad. When
she's a bad girl, absolutely.
Bad guys have goatees and they smoke. Yeah.
I really admire, Marv and those guys. Again, comics were a much more radical storytelling medium that today I don't think. Good lord, they won't let Wolverine smoke anymore, for God's sake.
Yeah, they took Popeye. They took his pipe away.
Which is Artie. That guy. Did you see that where he had the whistle, and also he doesn't have the squinty eye anymore, and now his eye's like, "Hey, how you doing, Popeye? How's it going?"
They don't want to make fun of him. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like you've taken all the charm out of Popeye. Gosh.
Now his name's just Pop. No more eye.
Yeah, that's right. Pop Pupil or something. They make it nicer or whatever. It's some PC version of Popeye.
I think now I'm pretty sure they call him Cataract now.
Cataract. He drives a Lincoln. That's weird.
Gosh.
It's good. I'm glad you guys told stories about these people, because I'm learning that's an important thing to do, and especially when dealing with sadness and losing people. I'm so used to just burying it and just trying to distract myself and not think about the sadness.
No.
But I think it's good to sit with it and think about it and feel it.
It hits home,
and to tell stories about these people too, and what you remember about them, and in that way keep their keep them alive.
You think about these two guys, and we were fans of these guys way before we even knew who they were.
Yeah.
And then to grow up and be in the industry, which is weird, and like I'm so grateful for that. I've always wanted to draw comics. I've always wanted to write comics, and to be in this industry is like, it's weird. It's a weird like imposter syndrome type thing. Like, really, I'm here. But we are, and we talk to these people. We become friends with these people. It's such a fun place to just create and explore. My
see
wife,
the history too.
Yeah, my wife.
But
my wife, understands that if I can't write or draw, there is no existence for me. There just isn't. Just because it's what I do day in and day out. I teach for because I teach, but if I can't be creative, if I can't write and draw, I don't exist. And it's weird that we've become friends with these people, but they've influenced me and impacted me going back years, like my formative years. So it means a lot,
Mm-hmm.
And you guys who are doing what you do, you all have a similar. You have something in common. You're all doing a similar thing. You're writing stories. You're drawing them, and it's a small group of people who are doing this for.
It's a small enough community that you can get to know these people, but it's a big enough community that their impact on readership is significant. And again, yes, movies are bigger, television is bigger. You can find a lot of other creative endeavors that are bigger. But that's what the cool thing is about comics is we all, including the readers, kind of all in on this secret of no, this shit is good.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate it. And then to get to meet and know the masters that really do make a difference and make such and including the not masters, but anybody that does this in a creative way. We just appreciate it more because we understand the finished product and the process of doing it. And like you said, no, I completely agree. And even in my small capacity of interviewing people, I just did a podcast this afternoon for another guy, and he asked me, he's like, what's the best thing about doing your interviews? And I said, getting to know these people beyond the work, talking about the creative process, talking about what inspires them, and also learning about their interests beyond going back to Neil Adams. I'm like beyond the obvious of, well, I make ships in a bottle. I do what this is my hobby. I collect baseball cards, somebody like that. And then the great thing is fans will go up to them and talk about Word Balloon and go, yeah, I heard on Word Balloon, Mark Torello, that you're really into baseball history. So am I. Let's talk about that. And it's great. And it truly, like, I get these wonderful anecdotes from creators and like, hey man, you got Word Balloon fans in Australia, and it's like, great. That means they're your fans, and I'm so glad that they're including me in the discussion with you. So no, you're right, man. I mean, like I said, even in my small capacity, it's a real privilege to get to know these people and have them comfortable to talk to me.
Yeah, it's cool. Not only that, like when you go to these shows and you meet these people, but then you meet them again and again and again. You keep seeing them, and it's such a feeling of welcoming, and especially like when we get to mingle with all the DC creative people, and we went to a Superman party, and then we went to different parties like that. And you get to see all these people, and it's just meeting celebrities and your heroes. But when you meet your hero and then you meet them later and they remember you, like Marv Wolfman, oh hi Odd, we're waiting together to get our badges at San Diego, and it was okay to hang out and chill in line with the guy.
Yep.
And it's what's really different, because you meet them as heroes and then you meet them as people. And it's just, even like when Stan Lee died, I'm like, George Perez died, but I was sad when he announced he was sick, and then I knew it was coming. But then when Stan Lee died, like all these guys died, and then all my family reaches out to me, and they all know that to them, to the normal people, comic book people, like, it's real different. Like, you go to Super Bowl party and I'm the only guy who doesn't have a day job, or stuff like that, or they see it, Stan Lee died, and I got phone calls and texts and people writing me emails and stuff. And it was really weird because they all look at that as like, oh, he knew him, that was his friend. And that's kind of with George Perez too. Like, wow, one of your, you guys both work at DC. And it's really strange for the outside people to see, to relate to us. Like, we all know each other, and like all my friends and Franco too, all of our friends are doing something cool. Like, we know actors, musicians, wrestlers, and comic book guys. We know all these guys, where regular people don't know all these guys. You know what I mean? And so it's really strange that.
But then you go back to that thing that you were talking about, like with Gilbert, like you feel like a connection. The one that really affected me a lot was Darwin Cook, and we were friends with him, but not on a hey, we're really good friends type of but we were friends, and he defended us multiple times to other people. He would lump us in the category of cartoonist. Us cartoonists have to stick together. And when he passed, that really hit me hard, that one, because it's there's different hierarchies. So like when you're Jim Lee and you're Art Balthazar and Franco, we're on that, we're not on that same level. We're cartoonists, but Darwin Cook brought us up. He was at that Jim Lee level, and he's like, no, you guys belong up here. This is the way I'm treating you. This is the way I'm talking to you. And he was really cool that way. So it hit hard.
Every time we were in San Diego, he'd give me a hug and whisper in my ear, "F in San Diego." He would do that every time. He would just say that right in my ear. But he'd swear, F in San
Sure.
Diego.
Absolutely, man.
And then when we won the Eisner, he came up to us and said, "All you need is one," and he walked away.
That's excellent.
Yeah,
No, he was always
he was
incredibly
real
kind to
cool.
me, and
Yeah.
and yeah, really great to me as well. And yeah, no, I love Darwin. Well, and again, I mean, again, we grew up like reading these guys, both art and story, and I really, I mean, it's going to happen eventually. And I don't mean to. I'm certainly hoping I'm not cursing these guys for saying this,
Mm.
but there's a lot of guys in George's age group and certainly older
Yeah.
that are still around. And during COVID,
Yeah.
I really felt like a need to really reach out, especially when we lost Marty Pasco, who was such a dear friend to me
Oh
and,
yeah.
and so
Mhm.
so sweet to me. And I really, to this moment, I can't believe he's gone.
Yeah.
And but really, it made me think of the other Bronze Age contemporaries of his, and literally, I'm like, "Are you okay? Is everybody all right?"
Mhm.
And truly, that's Walter Simonson, that's Paul Kupperberg, that's Mike
Mhm.
Goldtooth, the guys I'm talking to this weekend on this
Yeah.
online show I'll be doing on the YouTube Word Balloon channel.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, Kelly Jones is around my age, so we're okay. God,
All right.
God bless him.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, no, it's rough. And again, we grew up with these guys. They were our storytellers. I
Yeah,
mean,
they're our heroes. Yeah.
yes, yes.
And I remember meeting Steranko. Last time I saw Steranko, I wanted to get an autograph from him, photo. And I picked the one with him as a escape artist. And he went, "Oh, you want the one with me in handcuffs, huh?" And I went, "Yeah." And he goes, "You like me in handcuffs?" And, and I went, "Yeah, kind of." He goes, I knew who you were when I saw you coming." Yeah, and he signed it to me. There you go. And he winked at me. I'm like, "Thank you, sir."
Again, I
That's what
love
he
Jim.
did.
Jim is one of my heroes. I'm sorry that he's been public at some of his points of view that I will disagree with, but I will set
Yeah.
that aside and just respect him for the great artist.
Yeah,
that he is.
he's
Absolutely.
incredible.
I mean,
Yeah.
even going back, like, you know, we're going down memory lane, but you know,
Yeah.
just the fact that we were called two drunk guys by Will Eisner was
Yeah.
amazing. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
What was that? What happened there?
We asked him for a quote for
Yeah.
our Patrick Dwarf boy.
Oh, really?
we put a quote on the book because he gave us
Yeah.
a quote,
Yeah,
and
he,
then
he
we
actually
showed it to
said
him the second time, and he goes, "I said this to you guys." Because I
must
don't
have been
remember
drunk,
talking.
he
I don't
said.
remember talking to two drunk guys or something like that.
Yeah, he called us homosexuals. Yeah, yeah. He said we asked him for a quote, and he came back and we gave him the book, and he came back and said, "You guys are doing everything right." That was the quote.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I'm like, "Whoa!"
Wow.
And I put that on a book,
Wow.
and that's when he came. "Hey, look at we printed your quote." I said that. I must have been drunk. Why would I give two? He said two fat gay guys a quote. Why would I give two fat gay guys a quote? So I don't mean that was a joke, but
Yeah, of
but
course.
that's what he said to us.
I
And
understand.
then he laughed. Ha, ha,
And
ha,
then no,
he
and then
walked
we asked him, "Can we put that quote on the book?" And he laughed and said no.
away. Yeah.
That's like Stan Lee. I don't want to talk to you guys. You're DC guys.
Yeah, So
I
everyone
made
gave
him.
us a hard time.
Yeah.
But I can
It's
see
not-
we're two big jokers.
Yeah,
You know, and
yeah.
stuff.
He goes, "Why do I want to talk to you?" I said, "Well, if it makes you feel better, I get all my DC books comped, but I buy all my Marvel books." And he goes, "I knew I liked you, kid."
I knew I liked you. And remember, he stood in front of me and he goes, "Let's recreate that Hulk cover. Is he man or monster?" And he stood in front of me, real small. I'm like, this guy's crazy. He's sharp though. He was sharp. It's like
That's what
107
Brian always-
years old. Yeah.
That's what Bendis told me. He had so many meetings with him about the Spider-Man movie. They brought them both in to review that first Tobey Maguire movie, but also remember when Stan at Boom Studios did a new universe of heroes, and he really wanted Brian to be the writer of it. Eventually, it was Paul Cornell that did it, but he laid out all the backstories of all the heroes and showed him designs.
Yeah.
And truly, like Brian's like, you would think you were talking to a guy in his 60s,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Stan was well in his 80s when he was doing this,
Yeah.
and he was
that-
razor sharp. It was great to
Yeah.
hear Todd McFarlane say when he visited Stan in his final months, and he said, "Listen, physically he's very frail, but the mind is still there."
Yeah, he was sharp.
And he, and that was a nice comfort to hear.
But that's
Yeah.
that's the creator in the person.
Mm-hmm.
That never goes away. I'm hoping like that's me for the rest of my life.
Hey,
Yeah.
knock
Yeah.
wood, buddy. I'm with you. Yeah,
He was probably
you
like,
need a reason to get up in the morning.
he
Right.
was probably like after a show he had exhausted. He goes, "Whew, all right, I'm done. I gotta lay down."
Stan
like
said
what
that?
that's probably how he was. Like we were talking earlier, It's like, man, when you're on and then
Yeah.
it's done, you're like, oh, I gotta lay down.
Well, I know,
Probably how he
and it's
was.
funny he was in the news this week because they caught him and his wife going to the gym, and he was wearing a Mary Poppins sweatshirt. You know, Dick Van Dyke's 95 and
was
still
that?
very active for
Oh.
95.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting to learn when I did the FanX convention in Salt Lake City. Say it, Franco.
Salt Lake City.
Um, Dick Van Dyke was there, and he was doing, photos with people, celebrity apps. They had a private green room for him that had a full size bed because he's 96,
Nice. Yeah,
and
you
it's
need a
like
bed.
if you need it, it's there.
Yeah, I want that too.
And I don't know if he used it or not, but the organizers were telling me about it, and I'm like, oh my god! And they're like, yeah, we really, again, he's in his 90s. We got to be careful with him, and we don't want to overtax him and everything. And that's wonderful they do that, and I'm thrilled that Dick Van Dyke is still with us. And just like Carl Reiner, I will cry my eyes out when he's no longer with us.
Mm.
Norman Lear and Mel Brooks and all these.
Sorry,
Norman
guys in their
Lear,
90s.
isn't he? Bless him, God bless him. He's 101 or something like that. Something weird.
Look it up. But he's
He's
still,
150 years
good
old.
Lord, there's still, good. He was so involved with that reboot of One Day at a Time well into his 90s. And no, he's very involved in the production. And it's just, again, you need something to get up in the morning for. If you don't do that, you will waste away. I have had relatives that
Yes.
died young that were bitter and retired and sat in the corner until they withered away. And then I have other people like my grandfather, but when I say great, I mean he was amazing. But my dad's father, who made it to 96 because he had a purpose every day, and he really, again, that's what I believe that's what you need for longevity is.
Yeah.
You need something to do.
You don't want to turn into those old people who were in the Willy Wonka movie. They were all in bed.
Yeah,
Remember that? That always freaked me out. I was like, why are they just in bed?
Yeah, that one old
Grandpa
guy.
Joe.
They gave him the golden ticket. He sprang right out of that
He
bed.
got
I
out
gotta
of
get
bed.
the hell out of here. I've
And I
been
was
selling
wondering
to
why.
old people for the last 20 years.
Hey,
Yeah.
Grandpa, you could have
bed.
done that the entire time, but yet you chose to waste away in bed here?
And their
Nice.
pajamas were dresses. I'm like, when I was a kid, like, why are they
They're
wearing
nightshirts.
They're wearing
Like Stan
dresses.
Laurel and Oliver Hardy,
Yeah.
their nightshirts, yes.
When I first saw that, this is weird. Like, how come I have pants? My pajamas have pants and feet in them, but these guys. No.
Nice.
Norman Lear is 99. He will be 100 years strong in July 27th. So we are
Wow.
just months
Ooh.
away from him hitting 100.
No, don't put him on a magazine. Wait till the birthday. You don't want a
Yeah.
retraction, Betty
It's like
White
George-
style.
It's like George Burns, absolutely, man. And it's funny because Dick Van Dyke even said in 95, he's like, I'm going for George Burns' record. If he can do it, I can do it.
How
And
old was George
good
Burns?
Lord, was drinking martinis and smoking cigars,
God
feeling
bless him.
up girls.
That's how you should be,
How are
till,
you?
till you go out. How old was George Burns?
He made it to 100.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope I make it to 60. That's all I'm
Bill
worried
Burr
about.
made it to his late 90s. The best was 106-year-old Norman Lloyd, who was from St. Elsewhere, and he did a Next Generation
Oh, cool.
episode. But he worked with Alfred Hitchcock in the 30s.
100.
I mean, what a career. This guy, the great character actor, he produced the Alfred Hitchcock Presents television show from the 50s and 60s. This guy was an amazing
Wow.
Hollywood figure. And he's in Trainwreck with Amy Schumer and Bill Hader
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and Colin Quinn. And Colin Quinn is in the old people's home. And Norman Lloyd is one of the other old guys in the old people's home. And he was like 104 making this movie or whatever. It was insane.
I like it.
Wow.
Anyway. I know, we're almost at 3 hours. Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, podcast for 3 hours.
Speaking of
Hey,
having a
you
reason to
just
get up
joined us.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. Jeez, man. I hear you.
I'm just getting to work.
Quick reminder, if you want to watch Word Balloon tomorrow night live, I'm doing a show with Kelly Jones, the great Batman and Swamp Thing artist.
You got to say his name like this, Kelly Jones.
I'm a big fan. Yeah, exactly, with the ears.
Yeah.
Really long. Really long. Really long.
Real long ears. Yeah.
Red Rain, Batman as a vampire, of course. Great Swamp Thing.
Yeah,
Go
he's
listen to
good
the
artist.
Jonathan Frakes episode there. There you
It's
go.
up and running. The audio is running. He only wanted to do audio. I'm like, that's totally fine. You whatever you want to do, man. We could do this with string and tin cups if you want. As long as I'm able to record it, I'm happy.
Join
Yeah.
us on Monday for Trek Watch as well.
Hmm.
And,
We will be reviewing Strange New Worlds episode 3. Man, have you seen it yet, Francis?
Not yet. I got to watch it tomorrow.
Okay.
I was going to watch it tonight, but somebody wanted to do something else.
Podcast, I
It's
guess.
all right. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. It's all right. But no, I really look forward to hearing what you and Mitch have to say because I got a lot of notes.
Yeah, we'll talk
Oh.
Monday.
We'll talk Monday. It's all good.
Me and Joe do our comics on the Skokie page. We talk about the new books, but it's starting to become like a podcast. Me and him just joke around. And when he does the show without me, it lasts about 15 minutes. But when I'm on there, it's like 2 hours.
Good.
So, yeah, we do on the Skokie Facebook page because they're new books, so they're real current. So we don't put them on YouTube because then they on the Skokie page they disappear after 30 days and then we make new ones. But we do it every Tuesday. It's kind of fun.
That's Oh Yeah Comics Skokie Facebook page for everyone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. A lot of guys chime in. I know D-Brad's in there. Andrew Clark shows up. Anthony.
On the New York page, you got Brother Bear doing live sales once a week over there. So check those out. What do you got, Stoke? Anything?
I'm just want to plug my reading of The Wizard of Oz. It's a few weeks old now, but it's out there on the Oh Yeah Comics YouTube channel. Head on over and check that out. It's if you want to throw something on in the background, I'll read to you.
And we should all do that. You did an amazing job there. Scoot is not here yet to leave early. He said to say goodbye, but we will plug Agents of Slam. So we'll pick up Agents of Slam.
When's that come out? Oh, it's on already. Excuse me.
Dave Scheid.
And then
Available now, everybody.
We all got books out right now.
And Big Alien Moon Crash.
Romeo and Juliet in space. What aliens?
I do plan to get to the catching up with Franco again. School's been just taking up a lot of my time, but that's coming to an end. So for the summer,
I'll be doing more. James Cartoonist says things and draws things. It's coming back.
But go order Saved by the Bell Reeve.
I think it's Reeve.
That's out. It's going to be out in August. And pick up Dead Man Tells Spooky Tales. You can order it now from your local bookstore and/or comic shop. Comes out in September. So we got all that stuff happening. Anything else? Did I remember anything else?
And Brubaker dropping Monday on the Word Balloon podcast before the live Oh Yeah Trek Watch.
Coolness.
All right. When you see us, as they say.
Be nice to each other, no fight, no crime.
Hi, and don't forget, I'm waiting by urinal to have a urinal for a sword fight.
It's a lot of urine. A lot of urine.
It's a lot of
You
urine.
wouldn't believe it.
You
wouldn't believe it. Let me tell you.
From the Russian hookers.
Wait for it, Art. Don't say it yet. Don't say it yet.
That's it. Oh, so when you see us, you guys are awesome. Okay, bye-bye.